The Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans have met each other on the ice 341 times. Tonight, win 177 is on the line for the Michigan Wolverines, but most broadcast of Michigan hockey. Tonight, like I mentioned, they'll take on the Michigan State Spartans, who are first in the Big Ten. It's been quite a season for the team in green and white. Michigan struggled a little bit early, but they've come soaring back. Not so much last night, falling 5-1. Jake, what went wrong for the Wolverines in that game?
Yeah, well, you put it perfectly. Michigan, since the World Juniors, has been red hot. They're coming off a sweep against Ohio State. Last night, going into the game, Michigan had a lot of momentum, a lot of hopes were high, but after that second period where the game was tied 1-1, Michigan State took full advantage in the third period. Michigan State went 4 straight goals in that third period, including one was an empty netter, and they really took control of that game really quickly and won that game 5-1. So tonight, for the Michigan Wolverines, you really look to expect to not just put the pedal to the metal early on, but it's going to be about playing all 3 periods and not letting the #1 team in the Big Ten get ahead of you.
Who's the most important player for the Wolverines on the ice tonight?
Yeah, I think it has to be Rutger McGroarty. I mean, Rutger coming back since the World Juniors. He was the team point leader, actually the Big Ten point leader in the month of January. Last time he played Michigan State before last night, that 2-game series at home in January, Rutger had 4 points in both games. So you really look for him to get attacking early, not just in the goal-scoring category, but also dishing out the puck.
Rutger McGroarty will start this game for the Wolverines, along with the rest of his first line, consisting of Frank Nazar III and Gavin Brindley. Wolverines opting for their second defensive pairing, Tyler Duke, Seamus Casey, with Jake Barczewski in net. For the Spartans, they'll start with their fourth line, Tomi Manisto, Tiernan Shouty, and Tanner Kelly. On defense, Nash Nienhaus and Artyom Levshnoff, and their freshman goaltender, the sensation Trey Augustine, in net. We're getting ready to drop the puck here tonight. It'll be Nazar taking it for the Wolverines, and Shouty for the Spartans. Thank you so much for joining us here from Little Caesars Arena. We've got an exciting game of hockey ahead. Wolverines win the faceoff, tip back to Casey. Casey up the right side to Brindley. Brindley dumps one in. McGroarty finds it from the left faceoff circle. To Nazar behind the net, up to the point. Long shot by Duke, no good. 2 number 4s for the Wolverines collide, big hit there. Michigan State will dump and chase it. Barczewski plays the puck. Passes off to the right-hand side for McGroarty. Once again, up the right side to Casey. Can't work past Lebster. Wolverines will dump and chase and change lines here. And that'll be an icing call for the Spartans.
Yeah, you're really seeing the Wolverines take advantage of the puck early on, trying to spread out the offense a little bit, seeing what they can do against the Spartans, but obviously they're more willing to dump and chase and wait for that moment to take a shot there. As you're really looking at the replay here, I believe that is for the Wolverines. Josh Ernessy just absolutely checking one of the Spartans right there, Patrick Geary. Really good aggressiveness early for the Wolverines.
Face-off won by the Spartans, but struggled to get it out of their own zone, and it's stolen away by TJ Hughes. Up to Truscott, long shot, just misses to the left-hand side, once again collected by Ernessy. His pass goes too far, all the way down the ice, and it'll be Barczewski's turn to play the puck. Hands it off to Luca Fantilli. Up the ice for Warren. Just sails past TJ Hughes, looking for it. Wolverines managed to keep it in at the blue line, but it'll be circled around. Spartans on the break now. Howard trying to find an open shot, no good for him. They'll pass it back up to Sturback, his slap shot, no good. Gloved away by Barczewski, and the Wolverines moving back up the ice now. Ringing it around the boards, taken away by the Spartans. Knocked back to Casey. Casey into Draper. Big check laid by Spartan, but they can't manage to clear it. Casey comes up to collect it at the blue line. Puts a little lob shot on net. We'll just skip past. Back up to Brindley. Long shot from the blue line, wide right. Both teams trying to fight for possession. Spartans can't manage to clear it. It lands back with Frank Nazar, who circles it around the boards. Pass for McGroarty, no good. They'll have to get out of the zone and try again. Nazar bringing it up. Pass looking for McGroarty in front of the net, picked off by the Spartans.
I'm really impressed with how the defense has been playing by both teams right now. You saw Marshall Warren just completely take away a scoring opportunity for the Spartans. And the other way, you saw Artyom Levshinov do a great job also for the Spartans, preventing the Wolverines from multiple scoring opportunities here. So you're seeing both teams fighting really early on to try to get that first goal advantage.
Nazar cross-eyes pass intended for Pletsky, just a bit too wide. Wolverines will get a line change in. Icing calls on the Spartans. Shots 1-1 apiece here in the first period. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, both goalies really haven't had to see that much work, but that one shot by the Spartans really made Jake Barczewski have to make a fantastic save. He gloved it, then had a ricochet off his leg pad, so really good work by him. But obviously, both teams' defenses are working overtime right now, forcing the opposite team's offenses at really low percentage shots, and nothing really has been gone on goal.
Despite the fact that this is in Detroit, it is a Michigan State home game. That's how they switch it off every year. Fantilli at the blue line, past cross ice for Truscott. Truscott looking for TJ Hughes from the right faceoff circle. Errant pass will have to be collected by the Wolverines. Back to TJ Hughes from the faceoff shot, launched right into the gut. Oh, and there's a fight in front of the goaltender after the save by Augustine. That was Levshinov getting involved in some extracurriculars there.
Yeah, Levshinov and I believe that's going to be Jacob Truscott, the captain of the Wolverines, both got right involved on that Trey Augustine save. We're seeing the replay here. Truscott went right into Levshinov. Levshinov actually threw a punch at Truscott, got away with it on that one. But these two teams obviously really don't like each other, especially after the way last night went with the blowout that Michigan State put on. You definitely feel that some tensions are high for the Wolverines.
Face off inside of the Spartan zone. It'll be Mark Estapa taking the face off against Jeremy Davidson. Rings around the boards. Looking for Edwards. Spartans managed to clear. However, Lebster loses control of it. He'll have to try and collect it by working really hard on by Pletsky, slamming him up against the boards. Full team effort there. Warren ends up picking the pocket and getting away with it. He's bringing it up the left-hand side, past cross ice to LaPointe. Long shot, bounced away off of the body of Augustine. Big hit laid by Philip LaPointe there on Nicholas Mueller in the corner. That had this whole place rocking.
Yeah, with not much shots going on right now, a lot of the extracurricular activities are actually going on. Actually, that wasn't against Mueller, that was against Matt Basgall, and Philip LaPointe just took Basgall and drilled him against the left corner from our vantage point right now in the Michigan State zone.
Michigan wins the faceoff. Brindley puts an odd angle shot on. Doesn't manage to connect, but it was originally collected by the Wolverines. Spartans take possession of it now. Looking up ice, that finds Davidson. Davidson got too many Wolverines in front of him. We'll just have to dump it in the zone. Barczewski hands it off for Tyler Duke. Pass up the ice, no good. Found back for Brindley. Up to McGroarty. McGroarty cross ice. He's got a long shot from the left-hand side. That was Ernest.
Yeah, you're really seeing the Wolverines now starting to pour on some shots and are winning in the shot category 4-1. Nothing really a great scoring opportunity, but you really do see the Wolverines taking advantage in terms of time with the puck compared to the Michigan State Spartans. Michigan State's only really been able to put on 1 or 2 scoring chances, and only 1 was able to get a shot off.
Fewer chances you have, less likely you are to score. I know it sounds simple, but something the Wolverines need to focus on after a bit of a collapse last night. Wolverines get it back in the Spartan zone before losing it again immediately. Pass up the ice for Howard. Howard cross ice. Daniel Russell no good. It hits the side of the net, and Barchevsky gets a glove on that one.
Yeah, Daniel Russell had a wide open scoring opportunity right there for Michigan State. Wolverines very lucky. He just misfired, honestly, at a 1-on-1 chance against Jake Barchevsky, as we're seeing the replay right here. And he just missed the net completely, going left on Barchevsky. Wolverines very fortunate right there to get away with that one.
Bit of a sigh of relief from the Wolverine bench. They'll take the faceoff in their own zone. Hughes wins it, passes over to Edwards, who's about 3 different Spartans holding him down, primarily one being Larson. Bit of a dangerous play there for Barchevsky, but he manages to get the puck out. Pass up the ice by Duke is going to be an icing, and it'll come right back.
Yeah, Jake Barchevsky's been coming at a goal a little bit too much in this game early on. There's been a lot of dump and chases going into the back of the corners here on the against the boards behind Barchevsky. He's come out a few times from his net trying to get that puck. One time right there, the puck got a little too close to the net. That's why you might have heard a few Wolverine fans groan. Just got to be a little careful if you're that netminder.
Wolverines have had their fair share of experience with goalies that don't like to stay in the crease. It's like Barchevsky is no different. Once again, face-off won by the Wolverines. Warren pass up the ice to Ernest. Ernest looking for Dylan Duke, just a bit too far out of reach, and that's collected by Nienhaus. Puck circling around the boards. No one can manage to get any bit of control on it. Now it's just wide open in front of the blue line. Pass up the ice. That was intended for O'Connell. No good. Tipped away. Back in Spartan hands, however. Knocked into the zone by Savage. Knocked back out of the zone by the Wolverines. And now we're coming back up. Savage has it. Long shot into the pads of Barchevsky. That looked like it got away from him. But luckily it didn't trickle behind him.
Yeah, again, there have been very few shots on goal for the Spartans early on in this one. That one was another really good chance there by Larson going right at Barchevsky. Barchevsky's really just had to make some amazing saves already early on in this one. He leads the NCAA in saves. Right now, this current moment, as we're showing on the big video board, Barchevsky 66 combined saves in that 2-game series against Ohio State, so he is used to the opposing team piling shots on against him.
Wolverines come away with the puck after the faceoff. Casey up ice for LaPointe. It gets knocked out of the Wolverine zone at least, but they can't maintain possession. Knocked away by Kelly. He'll skate around the back of the Spartan net. Breakout pass. Long cross ice pass looking for Orvitz. There's a penalty called. And it looks like that's going to be on Shouty. Never mind, there's no penalty. That was just my mistake.
Yeah, it just looks like they called a stoppage of play
Gotcha.
there, offsides. Both teams made complete line changes, but you were right. They kind of stopped that one really fast.
It looked like it was a
delayed.
penalty, but yeah, I think it was just a delayed offsides.
Completely.
Nazar comes away with the faceoff back to Holtz. Holtz cross ice for Truscott. He manages to ring it around the boards before he gets drilled. Brindley and Gucciardi battling for the same puck. It comes out. Nazar tips it over. Brindley beats his defender. Pass up ice, left-hand side for Truscott. Cross ice for Holtz. Long shot. Saved by Augustine. Once again, more fighting from in front of the net. Looks like a Spartan, maybe Gucciardi, maybe Davidson, just came over and tried to knock McGroarty to the ground.
Yeah, you see McGroarty laughing too. Both teams really having fun already, being a little aggressive with each other. It's all fun and games here in Duel in the D. Two teams who just really don't like each other. Two teams who are also very, very good at college hockey, and this game really means a lot for Big Ten standings. Not as much for Michigan State, but really for Michigan specifically, who is right in the thick of it right now, trying to make that Big Ten hockey tournament and getting a home game in that Big Ten hockey tournament. So definitely important right now for the Wolverines to try to grab one of these two against the in-state rival.
Davidson was yelling at anybody who would listen as he left the ice. Spartans come away with the face-off win. Nienhaus gets it up to Russell, who tries to tip it across ice, but it's picked off by the Wolverines. Dorwart was pushing on Edwards pretty heavily, but it doesn't matter as the Wolverines managed to break out. Moldenhauer has it, puts on a long shot, comes in, gets his own rebound. Almost tipped, got it around the legs of Augustine. No good, but the Wolverines managed to maintain possession before it's finally tipped across ice. Spartans have a breakout chance. Dorwart with the long shot. Easy save by Barczewski, and there's some more fighting.
Yeah, I want to go back to that Moldenhauer scoring opportunity because he had two really good looks. He had a long shot that was not blocked well by Trey Augustine, and then Moldenhauer came right in front of Augustine, went right, left, backhand shot trying to get around him, and just missed. Those were two really great chances by Moldenhauer, and despite not being able to convert, really does show some good signs for the Wolverines early. They are leading in the shot category 7-4. They led in the first period last night as well against the Michigan State Spartans, so you hope that one of those finds the back of the net soon.
Wolverines win the face-off, get in the Spartan zone. Long pass Casey. It looks like maybe a shot attempt. No tip there. It's going to be gloved by Augustine, and we're going to get another scrap. I mean, it seems like every time there's a stoppage in play, something's happening, but there's two Wolverines on the ground. One's got to be slowly rolled off. That's Dylan Duke. Has to be very slowly and carefully rolled off of number 2, Patrick Geary.
I mean, these two teams don't like each other, and you're seeing a game right here, neutral ice, finally. Yes, it is a home game, quote-unquote, for the Michigan State Spartans, but I do see probably 60-40 Michigan State fans right now in Little Caesars Arena, but you definitely have fans from both teams really getting into it active early, especially against those boards where you're seeing those scuffles at the end of plays.
Nazar won the face-off. Back to Casey on the right-hand side of the blue line, up to McGroarty. Back to Casey, long shot in front. Brindley had an amazing chance from right in front of the crease, just isn't able to convert. McGroarty has another opportunity. No good, taken away by the Spartans, looking for a long breakout pass there. Collected and kind of just dumped in. That was Shouty.
Gavin Brindley had a wide open look. He just went wide with it. Had a ricochet shot selection. Left side. Definitely wishes he had that one back as he did score that first goal in last night's game against the Spartans.
Something to look out for Trey Augustine. That's been a couple shots now with some pretty juicy rebounds as the Spartans just try and keep it in the Wolverine zone. Nienhaus has it, dumps it off for Lebster. Lebster to Davidson. Davidson back to Lebster. His shot high, no good. We'll get a stoppage in play here.
I want to go back to something you just said, Kendall, with Trey Augustine having some issues right now with controlling the puck when there's been a shot. You've seen a few times when the puck has bounced off of him, and the Wolverines have had second and third chance opportunities early on. I don't know if it's just the lights here at Little Caesars Arena or what the case may be, but as someone who's been such a good goalie this season for Michigan State, you are seeing that puck get a little too bouncy so far early on in this first period.
Once again, that is a true freshman in Trey Augustine. Got a birthday coming up at the end of the month. He'll be 19.
Also second round pick for the Detroit Red Wings. So Red Wings fans hopefully will see him a lot very soon in the NHL as well.
Spartans working the puck up the boards. Mueller tries to get it out, loses control of it. Stapa has it. Stapa and Pletsky both trying to get it out of the hands of Mueller, but he'll knock it back to Nienhaus. Back in the Spartan zone. He'll drop it back again for Levshnoff. Dump and chase again. Warren has it, but with Dorwart coming in hot from behind him. Playing it up the left-hand side. Wolverines get out of their own zone. Edwards tries to knock it in, but cannot manage to avoid the offside. 9:46 remaining here of the first period. And here's the broadcaster cam, in case you were curious about what we look like. Hello, this is us. This is a very precarious broadcaster cam situation, as our producer is just dangling his phone over the
Welcome,
many people in
Thank you,
Little
everybody.
Caesars
Yes,
Arena.
we have a great booth right here in Little Caesars Arena. It's one of those hanging booths over, as you can see, our view right now. It is a late game here. Little Caesars Arena actually already saw one hockey game earlier today, as the Red Wings did play the Vancouver Canucks a little bit earlier in the day. We got here shortly after that game. We did get to see the entire crew try to change up the entire stadium just in time for Duel and D tonight, as Michigan is facing off against Michigan State.
I think that was a Red Wings win. Hopefully we'll get a Michigan Wolverine win here too. We're going to get the ice cleaned up a bit. Like I mentioned, we're just over halfway through the first period, and I'll let you know how things are going to go tonight in case you were curious. I'm doing play-by-play here for you with first half. First period. That was a whole first period. I'm doing play-by-play. Jake Singer, color commentary for the first and second periods. William Gregory, play-by-play for the second and third periods. And once this period is over, I'll take a little break, come back, and join you in the third as your color commentator. That was a lot. But write that down. You can rewind, write that down, and that's who'll be talking to you. Shots 9-4 in favor of the Wolverines.
Yeah, you've really seen Michigan pile it on pretty early on. There's been a lot of consistency in the aggressiveness in the offensive attack. You're seeing Michigan State trying to pick and choose its battles, not taking too many shots, but those 4 shots have all been very good play shots. You've seen Barczewski already have to make 2 or 3 pretty incredible saves to prevent Michigan State from getting on the board early, but you're seeing Michigan go with the attack of, we're just going to pile it on Trey Augustine. If one bounces free, we could possibly get a second or third chance opportunity.
Absolutely. I say there's only been 4 shots, but 2 of those have been on breakaways, which makes it even more dangerous. Hughes and Dorwart on the face-off. Wolverines come away with it. Get it out of their own zone. Pass up the ice. Spartans there first. Rings it around the board just a bit too hard. And Dorwart gets it away from Warren. He had a wide open Russell. Luckily, the save made there by Barczewski, and once again, there's going to be some fighting. That's Russell and Draper.
Yeah, you see the post of the goal just go completely off as Barczewski was trying to cover that puck up. Both these, as we've said multiple times so far in this first period, and you said it completely correctly, you saw a really good scoring opportunity right there by Daniel Russell of Michigan State, trying to poke that puck free as Barczewski was trying to find it. And then you see Russell going right at it with Keenan Draper. So you've seen a lot of different Wolverines and Spartans go at it early on, but that one definitely might have taken the cake as the most aggressive scuffle after a play.
Nobody truly won that face-off, but the Wolverines came away with it. Breakout pass by Dylan Duke is picked off by a Spartan. They'll have to send one back in. That's going to come away as icing, and the Wolverines going to take it all the way into the Spartan zone.
One last thing about that scoring opportunity right there is Daniel Russell went to the bench. He was very angry. He actually was slamming his stick on the bench multiple times and broke it. So very upset with himself about not being able to score right there against Barczewski, as through this first period you're seeing both goaltenders really handling each shot very well.
Spartans trying to get something set up on the breakout. They'll have to dump it in and go from there. O'Connell has it on the left side. His pass attempt for Larson is no good. But once again, it comes to a wide open Larson, who gets checked by Hughes, allowing Dylan Duke to come up and get that puck. Ernest trying to break out with it, but some sharp defense from Sturbach. TJ Hughes had an opportunity, no good. Maybe hit off the shoulder of Augustine. Spartans can't manage to get anything set up. Wolverines collect the puck. Their attempt to break out is no good. This is a lot of back and forth. Both teams have been struggling a bit to get anything really set up. Is that pass attempt there? Finds Kelly in front. He shoots and he scores! That pass found Tanner Kelly wide open right in front of Jake Barchevsky. He turned around and fired one, putting the Spartans up 1-0.
Yeah, that was just honestly poor defense by the Wolverines there, not being able to get the puck out of the zone. Michigan State had multiple scoring opportunities, and Michigan had multiple chances to get the puck out of the zone. Luca Fantilli actually missed the puck completely trying to clear it. Tanner Kelly was right there, point blank shot right in front of Jake Barchevsky, set himself up well, squared his shoulders, and was able to find the back of the net for this first goal of the night here in Little Caesars Arena.
Manisto managed to just barely tip that pass from Shouty over the stick of Fantilli, where it found Kelly to put the Spartans up 1-0.
Has had an opportunity to score, and one right there, we saw Tanner Kelly not just throw the puck at the back of the net and hope for something. He squared his shoulders and took his time and really was able to put a lot of mustard on that shot, which is why he was able to score on Jake Barchevsky. So two different methodologies right now in Little Caesars Arena, and you're seeing Michigan State, it's working for them right now.
By number 26, Tanner Kelly.
The official stats on that goal will be Kelly from Manisto and Shouty.
And number 13, Tiernan Shouty.
Wolverines trying to get the puck back in their Spartan zone. They manage almost, LaPointe almost takes it away from his Spartan. Just a lot of knocking it around. Now they're behind the net. It's going to be come up and collected by Mueller. Once again, knocks away. Nazar, LaPointe, Davidson, for finally Nienhaus, the captain, comes up, tries to clear it, and then Pletsky in there again, giving Nienhaus chase, who loses the puck. Another Spartan comes over to collect. Lebster looking for Davidson. Too much on it. Barchevsky will get it out. Moldenauer, Draper trying to knock it out. Long shot off of Barchevsky's right pad. Casey breakout pass to Draper. All up along the right-hand side. Spartans managed to recover it. Dorwart to Howard. Luca Fantilli playing some pretty tough defense there, knocks it away. Back to Dorwart. That puck found Truscott directly in front of the net. Good positioning by the captain to keep that from being a Spartan there. Until that time, it almost finds Russell again, who he had that great scoring chance earlier in this period. Wolverines struggling to get the puck out till Luca Fantilli finally knocks it out, and Gucciardi has to give chase.
Yeah, both teams really seeing that puck bouncing all around. We're seeing a lot going on right now. Barchevsky and Augustine both struggling to cover up the puck when they're given a shot selection right in front of them, as Michigan State already scored once on an opportunity like that and almost had a second right there, as you're completely right by Daniel Russell.
Wolverines managed to get it out and into the Spartan zone, but lost control of it. A lot of dumping and chasing going on, hoping that one team will manage to get a great opportunity out of it. It's worked well for the Spartans, not so well for the Wolverines so far. Behind the net, pass tries to find TJ Hughes from the right faceoff circle. No good, it's knocked away. Gavin Brindley, wide open shot from that faceoff circle, no good. Collects his own rebound. Puts either a long shot or pass on, not sure. Hughes up to Ed.
Yeah, Marshall Warren, great shot selection right there. Just couldn't get anything on that shot because his stick broke directly in half. We've seen a lot of broken sticks already in this one, as both teams are really shooting it hard early.
Mistake pass from the Spartans picked off once again by that really aggressive fourth line for the Spartans. Shot on net believe that was by Shouty. Saved by Barchevsky, but we'll get a face in the Wolverine zone.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. That fourth line right now from Michigan State already had that goal by Tanner Kelly. Now you're seeing Shouty putting on some shots. Tommy Monisto also really getting active early with the puck. So that fourth line, you might not really think much of it, but there's definitely a mismatch going on between Michigan State's fourth line and the Wolverines' fourth line tonight.
Fourth line, like we mentioned, is the one that started in this game, and for good reason. If they have been the fire starter for the Spartans. Face-off won by the Wolverines, Tyler Duke. Cross-ice pass looking for LaPointe. Knocked away by Levshnoff. Levshnoff has it on the right side. Long pass up the ice for Shouty. Shouty in for Kelly again. No good. It's going to be saved by Barchevsky, and now we've got everybody coming in to join. Nienhuis is the only one not on the ice who's not in that, besides for the goaltenders.
Yeah, you still see LaPointe right in it right there with number 26 of the Spartans.
It's Tanner Kelly.
Tanner Kelly, that fourth line again. But let's go back before even that brawl. You saw two amazing saves by Barchevsky. He was completely sat down, legs sprawled. He was first able to make a glove save, was able to bounce it into his chest and cover up like that. Really scary situation for a goaltender who was completely left useless and not able to move his body, but meanwhile, while also having multiple sticks, trying to get poked in your face and trying to get that puck out of your grasp. Nonetheless, Barchevsky was able to cover up very well, and we're going to get a call here.
It's going to be on Kelly and LaPointe. The call is 2 minutes for roughing after the whistle. I can't say I've heard that one before. I think I've just heard roughing.
Well, you saw it right there. It's going to be a 4-on-4 opportunity for both teams. So while there isn't necessarily an advantage by both teams, definitely with 4-on-4 hockey, you might see a lot more scoring opportunities here.
And then as a team that has struggled with that breakout, they've given up great chances to Spartans. This is dangerous territory for the Wolverines. However, on the other side, a lot of their attempts have come off getting the puck down quick and just launching one on Augustine. It's really any man's not a power play. Face-off going to be Nazar and Mueller. Won by the Spartans in the Wolverine zone. Lebster leaves it for Nienhuis. Back to Lebster. Got center ice from the blue line. Long shot, no good. Collected by Nienhuis. Almost knocked away by 3 different Wolverines, but ultimately remains in Spartan possession. Lebster looking for an open man. Tries to turn and shoot it himself. Bounces off a Wolverine. Truscott clears it up the ice. He finds Nazar at about the logo. Nazar tries to leave it for a Wolverine, but it's taken away by a Spartan. Levshnoff circling around in the Spartan zone. Trying to find an opening. Wolverines are playing them pretty tightly here. Will be chased all the way around their own goal. Dump an attempt by Russell. Doesn't find his man. Instead, Casey's going to take it from behind Wolverine's own goal line. Cross-ice pass to Tyler Duke, the right-hand side. Tyler Duke makes a Spartan miss. Gives it to Brindley. He's coming in quick. Slows things down, looking for Casey, but it's going to be tipped away by Russell.
Ref not happy with that one. Definitely hit him directly on that pass by Russell.
Got a ref on that dump attempt. Brindley up the left side to McGroarty. McGroarty working past his Spartan Sturbach. No good, and it'll come the other way. Lost by Larson. Working on Warren. In comes some help from Savage. Savage looking for Larson. That behind the back pass. No good. Edwards is going to get it instead. But Edwards turns around and hands it right back off to Savage. Tipped away by Warren on the scoring attempt. Some good defense by the Wolverines. TJ Hughes taking it the other way. LaPointe almost gets it from in front. Fantilli, nice little spin move on his defender. Loses control of the puck though. We'll have to scrap for it from behind the boards. TJ Hughes looks like he was just trying to turn and find a man behind him. Unfortunately, there was nobody there. Truscott will have to chase it. Both teams have returned to full strength. It's been that way for a bit. But there's been too much else going on. Back behind the Michigan State net. Fantilli gets it at the blue line. Hughes takes it away from Fantilli. Shot attempt from Hughes, no good.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of just non-stop play, nothing really going on. A lot of turnovers by both teams right now. Both teams just really content with dumping in as there's only 1:06 left here in this first period. But a lot of shifts going on too, a lot of shift changes, I should say.
Long dump from the Spartans, but there's no icing call. Up to Shifsky. Shifsky working on Sturbach. Sturbach knocks it away from Moldenauer. Up the ice. A lot of bodies in between the blue lines. There's going to be an offsides there on the Wolverines.
Yeah, a lot to unpack right there for these last 4 minutes. Both teams just going back and forth, not really putting on any shots on goal. There's been a lot of great defensive play, and both teams trying to work that fast break, most recently right there by Rutger McGroarty. But you're seeing guys like Sturbach, Levshnov, Nineshouse, Gucciardi, these defensemen for the Spartans really taking away any fast break opportunity the Wolverines are putting on. And then same with the other side as well. Some great play there by Marshall Warren and Luca Fantilli for the Wolverines to prevent the Spartans from adding to its lead as well.
Nazar cross-ice pass intended for Truscott, just out of his reach, but there's nobody near him. Someone caught up to him in the blue line. Spartans taking it the other way. Russell looking for Howard, no good. Nazar back to McGroarty. He's got two defenders on him. Long shot. Brushed away, stick side by Augustine. Nazar has it again, turns around. He gets knocked over the second that the period ends. And that'll bring the first period, obviously. But, you know, it's just one defensive play away. I mean, both teams have had great opportunities. There was that Marshall Warren shot from right in front of the net that just barely, he had broken his stick. Otherwise, I think that could have been a promising shot. There's been some mistakes on both sides defensively, but however, since the Wolverines have happened so close to the net, those look the most egregious.
Yeah, I mean, it also even goes back to last night. I mean, the Wolverines led that first period in shots like they're doing right now, but weren't able to come up with a goal. Second period comes around, Michigan State takes full advantage, 13-8 in the shot category. Despite the Wolverines being able to score that one goal, it was tied 1-1. Michigan State has shown with its skill this year, these guys are legit. Michigan State hockey is definitely at the top of its game right now, and you don't need to win the shot category to win in the score category. And so far, you're seeing Michigan's defense, while they've made some really good plays and good adjustments, there have been one or too many of those shots on goal by Michigan State that could have found the back of the net because of poor defenseman play. So I'm really looking for Michigan in the second period to clean that up a little bit. Worst case scenario, you clear the puck, because the worst thing you can do is let that puck trickle around and you let Michigan State get another second or third chance scoring opportunity against Jake Marcheski.
Lots of high danger chances too, just because the Wolverines are giving away the puck at the worst possible places. Hey guys, good to see you again. Wolverines are giving rid of the puck at the worst possible opportunities. I mean, they're losing a lot in between the blue. At any point on the ice where you don't want to be having those giveaways that the Wolverines are just turning the puck over. How do you think they go about fixing that in later periods?
It's definitely going to be about a scheme thing. Both teams are coming out pretty aggressive. You're even seeing it after the plays are over. Both teams are kind of getting into some fighting. You've seen the Wolverines at their best when they've gone on attacks, but it looks methodical. It looks like they have a plan. When the Wolverines are also on odd man attacks, it definitely works out as well. So the turnovers are going to happen both ways. Both teams are some of the best in the NCAA in hockey right now. Michigan State, number one is definitely climbing the ranks right now in the Big Ten as well. So those turnovers are going to happen. It makes sense, though, when you look at those plays without the turnovers, how both teams are being able to get the puck across the blue lines, getting them right in front of the goalie, and putting some pressure on both goaltenders. So far, you're seeing Michigan State winning in that battle right now.
Absolutely. We're going to take a little break before the second period. And then I'll be leaving you for the second. We'll be joined by William Gregory instead. It's been a pleasure calling this game with you, and we'll see you soon.
place where tradition runs deep and legends have been carved in ice. Vic Heinlein, birth of the Frozen Four, the 3G line, decade of championships, Al Renfrew and the Regina Regiment, the Red Baron and his triumphant return.
Welcome back to Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. My name is William Gregory. I'm here with Jake Singer. Jake, an exciting first period of action. The goal by Tanner Kelly to put the Spartans up 1-0 after a pretty even first period of play. Just one chance goes Michigan State's way and they take the lead.
Yeah, you really saw great back and forth play, really some great defense by both teams early in that first period. Just any time the Wolverines or the Spartans had any sort of scoring opportunity, some defenseman was getting in the way and poking that puck free. Also a lot of extracurricular activities going on at the end of a lot of plays going on there. So definitely a lot of tensions are high right now going into the second period.
Absolutely, and when are they not high in this kind of rivalry? The most played rivalry in college hockey, Michigan State. The 8th contest of the Duel in the D. Michigan State is 1-6, have not won since 2017. Michigan trying to keep that 6-year winning streak going, keep the Iron D in Ann Arbor. We talked to Connor Eargood before the game, and he talked to some Michigan staff. They really don't know what they're going to do with the transfer if they have to give the Iron D away to Michigan State because they haven't had to do it in so long. It's a heavy trophy from what we've heard. So we'll have to see what happens. Spartans up 1-0 after one period of play. We're here for the second and the third. I'll be here on play-by-play. Jake, my color commentator for the second period. Then Kendall Spencer, who you heard in the first, will be back on to do color in the third. Teams coming out of the dressing rooms to start the second period. The opening face-off will be taken by Frank Nazar and Tiernan Shouty from the winged wheel at center ice. 14 shots for the Wolverines, 12 for the Spartans in the first period. Barcheski, the Michigan goalie, looked to have played well, but a puck in front of the net just hung around for a second too long. Tanner Kelly able to capitalize on that first period goal. The opening draw won by the Wolverines. They've done well in the face-off tonight, but it's turned over almost immediately back to Shouty. Shouty, pass up to the neutral zone to Tommy Ministo, who had an assist on that Kelly goal. It's the same line out there, the fourth offensive line for the Spartans that started this game. Puck sent all the way back down the ice from the Spartan zone for an icing with 19:41 to go in the second period.
And that fourth line has really had a lot of success early on in this one. You saw the goal right there. You saw actually a lot of really great scoring opportunities for the Spartans there with that fourth line. Tiernan Shouty, Tanner Kelly, and Tommy Ministo. So the Wolverines really going to have to try to find a solution for that now going into the second period.
The Spartans looking for possession. Shouty, pass back to Nienhuis. Nienhuis bothered by Dylan Duke. Eventually has to get it away to Tanner Kelly, who's hit by Luca Fantilli. It ends up on the stick of Reed Lebster, who shoots one into the chest of Jacob Barcheski.
And early on in this one, you haven't really seen many scoring opportunities against Trey Augustine. But the other side of the puck, you're seeing a lot of aggressiveness coming out of the attack here by Michigan State. Great shot attempt there by Reed Lebster, but it was able to be controlled by Jake Barczewski, who, as you had said, had a very good first period. Just one of those pucks that hung around a little bit too long that went in the back of the net for him.
Reed Lebster, the oldest Spartan, will turn 25 years old on March 5th. Born in 1999.
How about that contrast with the goaltender Trey Augustine, who's a true freshman, only 18 years old.
And on that first defensive pairing, Nienhuis and Levshunov. Levshunov in 05, baby. Nienhuis, 9th of December, 1999 is when he was born. Stoppage in play with 18:48 to go in the first period. Spartans still up 1-0. Face-off in the Michigan end. Mueller against Nazar, won by Frank. Wheels around up to the blue line. Tyler Duke, a shot from the left side off the side of Trey Augustine. Off the rebound, tried to be controlled by Brindley. Ends up with Duke once again in the neutral zone. McGroarty. Backwards to Dylan Duke. Left side, Brindley. Brindley from the circle shot is saved by Trey Augustine.
Some more extracurriculars going on after each one of these shots. Trey Augustine or Gavin Brindley and Seamus Casey trying just to get the puck at Trey Augustine. So in that first period, the puck was bouncing around a little bit when Trey Augustine was making a few of those saves. Wolverines had a few of those second and third chance scoring opportunities. So just continuously attacking that true freshman and seeing if you can get a wide open second chance shot looks to be the plan right now for the Wolverines.
And I talked about it in the first period while I was off air with our producer Owen Crain. This is NHL ice. The puck seems to move much faster than any other playing surface I've seen the Wolverines on this season. Every time it goes around the boards, it's like a small little missile.
I noticed that difference extremely well too.
Dorward up the right side, a shot off the leg of Barczewski. Off the rebound, Michigan trying to corral it. It comes away to Nick Moldenauer, but it's trapped under the skate of the linesman in the neutral zone, and Michigan State able to capitalize on the referee touching the puck. Dorwart all the way back into the Spartan end. Bothered by Keenan Draper. Now works left side. Luca Fantilli, nice check on the puck to get it away from Dorwart before it is turned back over into the neutral zone by the Wolverines. Spartans here having a chance. Isaac Howard, 2 assists last night. Shoots one in to Jacob Barczewski, and some more extracurricular action in front of the net. Much of what we saw in the first period.
Yeah, you saw another just point-blank scoring opportunity right there, but for Howard. Barczewski able to glove it pretty easily, but the fact that he was able to come so wide open, have a point-blank shot on Barczewski, you're seeing this defense sometimes, seeing a few cracks in it when Michigan is letting some Michigan State Spartans having those point-blank shots.
That third line out there for Michigan State, relatively quiet tonight. Gavin O'Connell, Red Savage, who had a goal last night, property of the Red Wings, and Joey Larson, a sophomore from Brighton, transfer from Northern Michigan, out there for the Spartans. 17:26 to go in the second period. Stoppage in play looked to be an offsides. Full change for Michigan. Penalty. It looked to be interference on Nash Nienhuis, who had 2 penalties in the game on January 20th against the Wolverines. He interfered with Chase Pledsky in the neutral zone.
Yeah, just wouldn't let Chase Pledsky get across that blue line and get to the puck. Just completely took him by one hand and put him right down on the ice. Good call there by the refs.
And a relatively easy call for the first penalty of the game. Wolverines on the power play. One of the best teams in the country on the man advantage, converting over 35% of their chances. TJ Hughes in front of the net. Just too far for Dylan Duke. McGroarty. Right side point to Seamus Casey. Now back right side McGroarty. Underneath to Duke. Pass in front. Ricochets out of the zone. Recovered by TJ Hughes. With 1:30 to go on the power play. Nienhuis for interference. Crossing center ice is TJ Hughes backwards to Brindley. Brindley attempts to split 3 Spartans. And Maxim Sturbach able to send that puck all the way back down to the other end. Michigan setting up the offense. One-man forecheck out there is Reed Lebster. Weaving between is Brindley and McGroarty. McGroarty cross ice to TJ Hughes on the near side. Weak pass in front of the net. Rebound, Brindley pass to Duke, and he puts it in. Michigan ties it up 1-1. And TJ Hughes softly tosses the puck in front of the net. Brindley skating behind the goal line. Pass to Duke. One-timer, about as easy as it gets for Duke, reminiscent of that Tanner Kelly goal in the first period for the Spartans. And the Wolverines tied up with 16-18 to go in the second.
That was all Gavin Brindley's speed right there. Just a very soft dump into the zone. Gavin Brindley just outskated the entire Michigan State defense, sent one pass back to Duke, and Duke with that one-timer right past Trey Augustine. Doesn't matter how good of a goaltender you are this season. That was a point-blank great opportunity by Michigan. And you saw that entire power play Michigan had set up after setup, just trying to find that right goal right there. Dylan Duke found the back of the net.
And Augustine set up in the wrong position on the near side post. Duke lifts it far side of the net. Out of reach for any goalie. Like you said, Jake, doesn't matter how good Augustine is and how spectacular he has been this season. Michigan, power play goal, loses the opening faceoff, wins the puck. Back down into the Spartan end. Knocked away by Sturback. Sturback up ice. Shot by Daniel Russell is deflected by Jacob Barczewski.
And that could have easily been 2-1 Michigan State. Daniel Russell had a really great scoring opportunity and just went over Barczewski's shoulder pad and to the side of the net to be able to finally have a stoppage of play here.
Garrett Shifsky up and out of play with 15:31 to go in the second period as we get the goal information from Red Wings public address announcer Eric Freiney. Obviously, with the Wings playing earlier today, Little Caesars Arena is still kitted out, and a lot of Red Wings personnel in attendance tonight, as well as some other NHL scouts, the Senators, the Canucks, of course, from earlier today, and I'm sure the Red Wings want to get as many looks as they can on Trey Augustine and Red Savage. Michigan wins the faceoff in the Spartan end, sends it back down, does Michigan State for an icing with 15:20 to go in the second period. And a third member of the Red Wings property in college, Keenan Draper, son of Chris Draper, also a third line forward for the Wolverines tonight, who has seen his ice time increase this season after largely being a non-dresser last year. Michigan State wins possession of the puck on the right side. Up ice to Manisto. Manisto back to Levshinov, who nearly loses it out of the zone. Picking it back up is Artem Levshinov. Shot on net. Saved by Jacob Barczewski, and some more action, as any time one of these Spartans gets close to Barczewski, there will be 2 or 3 Wolverines letting them know not to do that again. Yet they continue to do it again.
Yet they continue, and you're really seeing both teams looking at it as if they're trying to defend their goaltender. There's been just a lot of extracurricular play, trying to get some extra shoves against Barczewski as well as Augustine, and both teams not having it. That time was Tyler Duke was just holding up the Michigan State forward, just trying to prevent him from getting to his goaltender. It really feels like both teams not only are trying to play to win, but they're also trying to play to be the more aggressive team and show more dominance here tonight in LCA.
Flint Firebirds jersey displayed prominently on the Jumbotron here at Little Caesars Arena. They switch back to the guy next to him wearing a Red Wings jersey. A lot of stoppages in play here after that first goal of the second period. Only 5 minutes gone. Levshinov retrieves for Michigan State in their own end. Nienhaus. First shift after the penalty. Up ice to Gavin O'Connell. O'Connell over to Larson. And a shot by Levshinov, again saved by Barczewski.
Yeah, I was saying to Kendall in the first period, Michigan has definitely just been piling on the shots against Augustine, but for Michigan State, it feels like they've been very methodically taken, and they're waiting for that perfect shot, and you really needed Barczewski to make some great saves. Most recently, that one, just making a full windmill glove save, preventing Michigan State from scoring another goal here.
And Barzo, third Big Ten Star of the Week last week for his sweep against Ohio State in Columbus. I was there along with Owen Crain and John Tondor for WCBN Sports. Big 2 wins, 4 points for the Wolverines. Off the face-off, won by Michigan State. They controlled in the Michigan zone. Joey Larson's shot deflected in front of the net by Jacob Truscott, and off the rebound, the Wolverines keep it. Moldenauer tripped before getting it up ice to Keenan Draper. Backside boards, corralled by Trey Augustine. Up ice to Red Savage. Savage, right side to Gavin O'Connell. Poked away by Moldenauer, recovered by Maxim Sturbach. Sturbach around the net, wheeling, fires off of the arm of Jacob Barczewski, dribbles out of the zone, having to recover is Sturbach. Shoots it along the boards. A line change for Michigan State causes that puck to be stopped in front of their bench and picked up by Michigan. Marcus Stoppa, nice move to get a Spartan defender off his feet. Ethan Edwards now left side off a cross-ice pass. Edwards into the zone of Trey Augustine, right in his grill, loses the puck, and it's picked up by Michigan State. Reed Lebster on the left side. Lebster stops, bothered by Stephen Holtz, passes into the slot, intercepted by LaPointe. Off a rebound, another shot into the glove of Jacob Barczewski, who really has played well tonight. That's his 18th save. 19 shots for the Spartan. That one goal by Tanner Kelly, as we get a replay of Ethan Edwards hitting the near side post and going flying into the trapezoid.
I mean, you said it, that this ice is a lot faster than what we see in Yost and really any college hockey stadium. So you're seeing these players who are skating so fast, and right there Ethan Edwards just got checked right against the post and spun, and luckily he's okay.
Face-off won by Michigan, sent back down the ice and gloved by Trey Augustine with 12:56 to go in the second period. And Jake, that ice at Yost is notoriously soft, a little bit warmer than some players would like. And this is state of the art. I also remember stories about Joe Louis Arena and how veterans on the Red Wings were a bit saddened to hear that all new boards and ice would be installed. Another puck down to the other end, gloved by Barczewski. We'll have a face-off in the Michigan zone now, but a lot of veterans for the Wings saddened to hear that the boards and ice from the Joe would be replaced. A lot of those players knew the spots in the boards like the back of their hand. I already mentioned that the puck is flying around the boards tonight, more so than even at Yost, and that has to do with the playing surface, the boards, all that.
And with that, you have very young players who have fresh legs, who can fly around right now, and you're really seeing the puck not only flying around, but also these players are looking a lot quicker than they usually do back at Yost too.
Michigan State wins the face-off in the Wolverine zone. Puck carries out of the zone. Nienhuis now recovers. Pass inside to Tiernan Schaude, it looked like. Off of a protector of Barczewski. It was a shot by Nienhuis from the blue line. Deflected, Schaude puts it back in. Spartans up 2-1.
It's that fourth line again, William.
Yeah, quick answer by Michigan State.
Tiernan Schaude, Tanner Kelly now, both with goals, and you're completely right. It just seemed like a right place, right time for Tiernan Schaude, who was getting checked by Jacob Truscott, and he just found the ricochet off Jake Barczewski, and Schaude just able to poke it in right past Barczewski for the second chance opportunity. And right there, second goal of the night for Michigan State, second goal of the night for the fourth line of the Spartans as well.
So the second game, last time these two played, January 21st, ended 7-5 in a Michigan State comeback win. The first game of that series was a 7-1 Michigan victory, and it seems like that this game and this weekend may follow a similar form. Another shot in front of the net. This time it was Red Savage, saved by Barczewski. And the puck is flying up and down the ice.
And Barczewski's not playing poorly. These are just unfortunate bounces of the puck. That one definitely he probably should have tried to cover up. It did deflect off his arm, and he let Tiernan Schaude just sit right next to him on the left side and poke it in for a second chancer. But he's seen 24 shots already through.
Not a lot of time to
a
breathe.
period and a half. So right now, Michigan State well on pace to go over 40 shots on goal. And you really need to see that Michigan defense step up just a little bit more.
Draper wins the faceoff for Michigan. The Wolverines unable to really keep offensive possession after their own goal by Dylan Duke earlier in the second period. 11:50 to go here in the second. Spartans poke the puck away. It's Basgall. Up ice to Jeremy Davidson. Davidson looks to be offsides. With 11:41 to go in the second period. Some jawing between Tyler Duke and Davidson down behind the Michigan net. And every stoppage of play is going to feature a type of that action. They're going to take the offsides face-off on the far dot here on the near side. It'll be Carson Dorwart against Marcus Stappa. Big boy line out there for the Wolverines on offense. LaPointe, Pletsky, and Marcus Stappa, along with Stephen Holtz and Jacob Truscott, looking to get physical here, being down 2-1. As Stappa around the boards to Holtz, tries to dump it back in behind the net. As Stappa on that play beat by Patrick Geary. Working, digging in front of the net. Marcus Stappa after the puck ricocheted in front of Trey Augustine. Can't find it, Augustine. Able to make another save with 11:20 to go in the second period. And we'll have yet another face-off.
That was honestly probably the most civil both teams have been after a save tonight by either of these goaltenders. Trey Augustine, though, just trying to find that puck. It appears to be very difficult for both these goaltenders to cover that puck up, as we're seeing on the video board now. Adam Fantilli here in the crowd in Little Caesars Arena. Third overall pick in 2023 by the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Third Hobie Baker Award winner for Michigan, and I saw him in Columbus last weekend. He was on his scooter. He had a lacerated calf. He's out for 6 to 8 weeks. He scootered in to Value City Arena and was taking the time to take pictures with any fan who wanted one. Michigan State now operating in the Michigan zone. They'll have to re-enter. Nienhuis, though, instead opts to dump it in and go off for a change. Ethan Edwards pass to nobody. Nobody's home. It's picked up by Michigan State. Gavin O'Connell dumps it behind the net. Nienhuis. Left side point over to the right. Levshunov. Levshunov tries to dump it in. It's blocked by TJ Hughes. Another shot by Levshunov is gloved by Jacob Barczewski.
And I think right there, you're seeing this Michigan defense not being able to control the puck a lot, and that's what's been the issue right now for the Wolverines. You're seeing Michigan State getting multiple opportunities because that puck is flying. Michigan State's been able to take advantage of those boards and sending it all around the ice, just trying to find that right shot on Barczewski. Barczewski right there was able to glove it, but in a lot of traffic. So you really just need to see Michigan do a little bit of a better job at containing that puck and getting it out of the zone when they can.
Michigan wins the face-off. Brindley lifts a pass to McGroarty on the left side. Nazar puts a stick on it, keeps it in possession for the Wolverines. Nazar wheeling around the right face-off circle, pass into the slot. Brindley's shot off the stick of Trey Augustine. Wolverines maintain possession. Not for long, as Brindley now fighting on the far side boards with two Spartans, comes away to Michigan State. And they shovel a pass that's sent to Tyler Duke, sends it back down the ice behind the goal line of Trey Augustine. Sloppy passing for Michigan State, gets a shot in front of the net again by Tyler Duke, deflected off the stick of Nazar. And with 10 to go here in the second period, Michigan State now controls. Sturback across center ice. Casey tried to check on him, missed. Sturback, though, just dumps it into the Michigan zone, and the Wolverines send it all the way back down the ice for another icing. .9:43 to go in the second period. Face-off in the Michigan end. Nicholas Mueller wins it for the Spartans. He comes away with the puck. Working along the corner, checked by Tyler Duke. Draper in there to try and dig it out. Now Casey fighting along with Jeremy Davidson. Wins it for Michigan. Brindley, badly needing a line change off that icing, dumps it in and comes out of the game. Spartans now in possession. Trying to work across center ice. Michigan denies his own entry. Kept by State. Michigan State left side now. Reed Lebster. Lebster. Checked by Luca Fantilli. Dumps the puck to a teammate before finding Nicholas Mueller on the right side. Mueller sends one around the boards. Kept by Barczewski to Fantilli up to Shifsky. Wolverines with a fast break here. Jacob Trescott over center ice. One-on-one. Trescott, good play by Levshunov. Trescott able to dump it back in front of the net. Moldenauer, it looks like Augustine had a glove on it. Big chance for Michigan. Jacob Trescott, obviously a defenseman, not the one you want to take a one-on-one, but a great poke check by Artem Levshunov.
Yeah, Levshunov just really saved a really big scoring opportunity there by Jacob Trescott. Yes, while Trescott is a goaltender, he still can definitely find the back of the goal. And, you know, with the one-on-one opportunity, he really had a point-blank opportunity right there, but Levshunov was able to come flying in, matching him one-on-one, and poked out just the last second, preventing the Wolverines from trying to get a shot attempt there against Augustine. Just some great work there by the Michigan State defense, and you've really seen this defensive unit by the Spartans really playing extremely well tonight. Honestly, how they have done all season just to prevent Michigan from some high-scoring opportunities.
We've reached a media timeout with 8:42 to go in the second period. The Michigan Hockey Band playing the good old hockey game song, and these two bands have switched off. Michigan State is technically the home team, so their band gets the response, but they have every song switched back and forth, and it's been really cool to have both bands in attendance tonight, especially with this split, nearly sellout crowd. It was announced to sell out, but I see a few empty seats in any event. I mean, this is a terrific atmosphere here in Detroit. It's a great night for the city. The overtime win for the Red Wings. Here, the Duel in the D. Pistons basketball, they're looking better. They were riding a two-game winning streak. They've had a lot more losing streaks that have lasted longer than 2 games this season. But after the trades they've made, they're looking better. And of course, the Tigers starting up pretty soon in the NFL draft in April. It's gearing up for a fantastic March and April in the D. Got to sort out some things in February here first, though.
It's been great, and also you're seeing two teams at the top of their game right now. Duel D doesn't always necessarily show 2 top teams, but we're very fortunate to be here calling a fantastic matchup right now between 2 top 12 teams in the country, 2 top 4 teams in the Big Ten, both just fighting for a top seed in the Big Ten tournament, and obviously with hopes to go on to the Frozen Four and beyond.
And both these teams shaping up. The Spartans, 13 Big Ten wins this season, the most in program history. Obviously, the Big Ten Hockey Conference being founded in 2013, so there hasn't been a lot of, this isn't a 100-year-old streak. Off the faceoff, Michigan wins. Quick shot by Dylan Duke. Stays behind the net, looked to go out of play, but TJ Hughes has it. Marshall Warren from the blue line, shot deflected. Kept by Michigan in the Spartans offensive zone. Steve Holtz around the boards to TJ Hughes. Kept in by Marshall Warren. Warren, another shot in front of the net. Deflected by Dylan Duke, but goes wide left. Michigan State trying to dig the puck out. Garrett Shifsky keeps it alive. That was TJ Hughes for Michigan. Along the other side, Marshall Warren, who's gotten good time on ice tonight. Finally turned over by Michigan and Nash Nienhuis. Nienhuis, Ernestine, and Duke around him win the puck back for Michigan before it's eventually taken away by Michigan State. But to finish off what I was saying, both these teams gearing up to be NCAA tournament teams in March. Michigan all the way back down the ice. TJ Hughes has it on the left side, bothered by 2 Spartans. Cross-ice pass to Tyler Duke, shot off the leg of Trey Augustine. Nienhuis off the rebound to Levshunov. Up ice to Shouty. It's that dangerous bottom line. Now, lost by the Spartans. No icing called all the way back down the ice behind the goal line. LaPointe. Left side, Tyler Duke. Right side to his brother, Dylan. Left side pass to LaPointe on the goal line. Shot deflected by Trey Augustine. Another chance for Seamus Casey. From left to right to LaPointe again. But Trey Augustine playing fantastic, and what else will you expect from the star freshman? 7:09 to go in the second period. Augustine sits on the puck.
Yeah, those were multiple scoring chances right there for the Wolverines. And if 1 or 2 of them had just worked out, you definitely would have seen a goal go in the back of the net. We're looking at the replay right now. Philip LaPointe had 2 great chances right there. Then you had another scoring chance right in front by Duke, as you had mentioned. Michigan taken 28 shots in this one, only finding the back of the net in one. Now 29 shots to fire another one away.
Another shot in front of the net. Nazar doing his best to screen Matt Basgall in front of the net. Another shot. Brindley goes wide left off the rebound. Nazar deflected. And Michigan State survives. Big hit after the play by Patrick Geary. Rucker McGroarty goes flying to the ice. And we'll see if a roughing penalty is assessed. Referees conferencing. The puck went out of the zone. It was going to be an offsides call. That's when McGroarty touched it. The whistle blew with 6:48 to go in the second period.
I want to mention that multiple scoring chances that Michigan just had was by its fourth line. So you were seeing with the Spartans, their fourth line getting 2 goals up. You're seeing for Michigan right now getting 2 goals up, getting 4 shots up as well. Right here with this fourth line, as we say hi to you back here in the booth.
How we doing? Hi, Mom.
Hey, grandparents. Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
On the offside, Spartan win the face-off on the near dot. 6:44 to go in the second period. Wolverines manufacture a turnover. Truscott around the boards to Moldenauer, too far out in front. And in the neutral zone, after a couple changes of possession, it ends up with the Wolverines in their own zone. Truscott, right side Fantilli. Fantilli shoots it back down the ice into the trapezoid and icing. And I want to say, while we were talking about the Augustine saves, Justin Abdelkader flashed on the Jumbotron, former Spartan legend, MVP of that 2007 national title winning team. So to counteract the Fantilli, they bring in Abdelkader, former Red Wing. Hero of my childhood, I'll have to say, given his contributions to Detroit at the end of their playoff streak in the early 2010s. Off the faceoff, Michigan State in the Wolverine zone. David Gucciardi on the right side. Slap shot goes wide left. Off the rebound, it's controlled by State. Gucciardi along the circle, keeps it in possession to Dorwart. His shot deflected wide left once again. Inside of 6 minutes now. Wolverines come away with the puck. It's Moldenauer. Skating across the neutral zone, dumps it behind the net where Augustine will leave it for Gucciardi. Gucciardi, property of the Washington Capitals from Toronto, Ontario. Michigan State working back up the ice. Good opportunity. Dorwart, he scores! (3-1) MSU.
And that was definitely on Barczewski there, letting Carson Dorwart get that goal against him. Just came right out of his little goaltender box, trying to push the puck away. And you see just a wide open scoring chance trying to guard. I believe that was his teammate Isaac Howard, and he came out just a little too much, and that let Dorwart have a wide open scoring opportunity for Michigan State to go 3-1.
And State makes it 3-1. That was number 26 on the assist, who was Tanner Kelly, who has a goal tonight. Howard did have 2 assists last night in the big Spartan win. So Michigan has their work cut out for them, but there are no stranger to scoring in bunches. The top 6 leaders in the Big Ten points per game are all Wolverines. Michigan already back working offensively. Tyler Duke on the left side point. Loose shot in front, deflected by Trey Augustine, and off the rebound, Kelly fighting for it along with Tyler Duke. Now the Spartans come away with it. Levshinov. Left side, Needhouse. Back up the ice. No icing called after it looked like Casey touched it. And the Spartans try to keep it in the zone, go along the boards where it's eventually picked up by Ernessy. Josh Ernessy, quiet so far tonight, has had his contributions as a transfer for the Wolverines this season. Shouty. Pass knocked down across central ice by Dylan Duke. Duke attempts a cross-ice pass to the right side to TJ Hughes, but it is batted away by Matt Basgall. Spartans trying to get it out of the zone. Marshall Warren, a shot on goal, is deflected by Augustine, and off the rebound, the Spartans are out and skating. Here's Larson on the left side. Larson looking for a teammate. Finds him. It's Maxim Sturbach. Back to Larson in the slot. His shot goes above the net. Red Savage working behind. fighting for the puck along with Josh Ernest and another Spartan and another Wolverine. Can't check the number. It's Ethan Edwards, and it's Gavin O'Connell. Puck eventually trickles out to TJ Hughes on the right side. Hughes. Cross ice to Edwards. Dumps it in. Gucciardi deflects along the boards in the slot off the rebound. Dylan Duke has a shot that goes wide right. Duke, the lone Michigan goal tonight. Off the rebound, it's Gucciardi. Up to O'Connell, whiffs on a shot. O'Connell keeps the puck, though, unable to be poked away by Chase Pletsky. A shot on the right side of Jacob Barcheski, loosely knocked away by the Wolverines netminder. Maxim Sturback, right side to Red Savage, back to Sturback. His shot goes wide right. Red Savage fighting along with Philip Lapointe. Lapointe knocks him to the ice, and that'll be a penalty on Michigan. Lapointe working in the corner. Lapointe has had a physical day today. A big hit earlier in this game, but this time he'll go to the box. Holding penalty on Philip Lapointe sends the Wolverine assistant captain to the box.
And that was a good call right there. Philip Lapointe just completely brought down Savage, just kind of putting him into a little bit of a chokehold right there against the right corner from our vantage point. So good call right there for the referees. And Michigan State already up by 2 goals, giving another chance right here on the power play against the Wolverines.
Michigan shorthanded for the first time tonight off the faceoff. An immediate shot by Michigan State. It's Isaac Howard on the right side slot. Goes wide. And the Wolverines chase it down into the Spartan end. Children of Yost let them know with their kill whoop. I don't know what you call it. That's what I'll call it for right now. O'Connell across center ice. As we welcome our listeners on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. You're listening to WCBN Sports Live coverage of the Duel in the D. 2:30 to go in the second period. Michigan State on the power play. The first time the Wolverines have been shorthanded tonight. It was a holding penalty on Philip Lapointe, knocking a Spartan to the ground. And Michigan State's really had to live in their own end in the first minute of this power play. Good job on the kill by the Wolverines. Dorwart, though, enters the puck across central ice into the corner where Ethan Edwards fighting with Isaac Howard. Howard gets a pass to Dorwart in front of the net, just scored a couple moments ago. His shot saved by Barcheski, and the Wolverines able to clear with 49 seconds to go on the penalty kill.
A good kill so far by the Wolverines, just trying to get the puck out of the zone as much as possible.
There goes Estapa again. It's gloved by Levshunov to keep it from going back to Trey Augustine. Here's Red Savage, shot in front of the net is blocked by Barcheski off the rebound. Spartans still able to control in front of the net. A couple Spartans get their stick on the puck. It looked to be Mueller. Mueller and Davidson for Michigan State had a chance, but Jacob Barcheski still with 26 saves tonight for the Wolverines goalie, who has played well, but a number of opportunities for the Spartans. Wolverines back at full strength, but the Spartans control. Left side shot by Mueller is deflected, and Keenan Draper on the fast break for Michigan. That was a Larson shot on the left side. Dylan Duke now for Michigan. Pass to the slot to his brother, can't handle it, and Tiernan Shouty breaks that one up for the Spartans with under a minute to go in the first period. Clock stopped for a moment. It keeps ticking now. Inside of 40 seconds, Wolverine fast break. McGroarty, his pass into Dylan Duke on the left side, broken up by Michigan State once again. And Michigan trying to get one more before they go to the second intermission break. Inside of 30 now, and Michigan dumps it back to Spartan ice for an icing.
Yeah, you saw Michigan right as that penalty kill concluded, just trying to take a few chances right there against Augustine. Nothing really, though, was working. That one chance right there that Dylan Duke had, passing Tyler Duke, had just too much mustard on it. It was just a little too fast for Tyler Duke to handle. But right now, you're really seeing Michigan getting a little antsy and trying to grasp at some straws, just trying to get back in this one.
Spartans win the faceoff off the icing. Nienhaus shot off the leg of Barcheski, kept by Michigan State. Nienhaus skating along the point, right side to Isaac Howard. Howard's shot deflected out in front of the net by Dylan Duke. Wolverines able to keep possession of the puck for a moment. Now TJ Hughes, with 5 seconds to go in the period, will attempt to skate out the clock. Here's Tyler Duke looking to get one last shot on net. Rucker McGroarty eventually gets one in, but it was after the horn had sounded and a big fight on the backside board. Several Spartans, several Wolverines flying to the ground. Dorwart and Duke still going in front of the net. Isaac Howard went to the aid of his teammate. It looked like it was Daniel Russell going to the ice, shoved by TJ Hughes. Rucker McGroarty was working against Maxim Sturback, whose helmet fell off. And there's going to be a whole lot to assess as this game goes to the second break.
Yeah, that doesn't work at any level of hockey. You've even not even seen it work at Chell, the video game. Rucker McGroarty clearly shot the puck 2 seconds after the period had concluded, and you saw the entire Spartan team just attack him. They jumped on him. You saw helmets fly off. I saw Maxim Sturback. His helmet came off, and he was at the bottom of the pile. Both teams not happy with one another at the end of the second period, as Michigan State does lead the Wolverines 3-1.
And both teams head to the locker room. The referee is still conferencing. And we got an abbreviated call, but I'm not sure that the referee's work is done just yet. I guess they're going to go to the tunnel. Oh, it'll be McGroarty for roughing, 2-minute minor. Rutger will stay in the game, and the Spartans will have a power play at the beginning of the third period. Disappointing second period for the Wolverines, outscored 2-1. Spartans make it 3-1 after the Wolverines had tied it 1-1. And now Michigan State in the driver's seat to win their first duel in the D since 2017. Michigan can score in a hurry, but against a goalie like Trey Augustine, that'll be tough to do. Only one goal last night. Spartans scored 5, including 2 empty netters. This game, a similar pace to that one, although the 2 Spartan goals to take the lead. 4 total goals in the third period last night. This time they go up 3-1 in the second. Any last thoughts before we go to break and before you go off air, Jake?
You know, I think for the Wolverines, you saw last night go out of control, but that was in the third period. Tonight was in the second period, and now down. You've seen this team battle back from big deficits. You've also seen this team give up big leads. Anything is possible in the third period, especially with Michigan State scoring 4 in the third last night. But you're completely right. Against a guy like Trey Augustine, who's been so lights out tonight, giving up that 1 goal to Dylan Duke on that ricochet second chance opportunity. I really want to see Michigan come out in more sets with more methodical plans going into their offensive attack. You're seeing them just kind of pile on shots against Trey Augustine. It's not working. Something needs to change going into this last period. Yeah,
you'll have to generate something if you're the Wolverines against a fantastic goalie in Augustine, who some see as the future of the Detroit Red Wings in net. As right now, Alex Lyon, though, doing a tremendous job saving 92% of the shots that come in on him as the Red Wings netminder. And that'll do it, I guess, for the second period of action. I'll be back on the third with Kendall Spencer. Owen Crain may come on for an intermission for a moment.
Just past the top of the hour, it's WCBN FM Ann Arbor. William Gregory and Jake Singer just had the call of the second period here from Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Owen Crain alongside Kendall Spencer. Kendall, you'll be back on the third period as a color commentator when William Gregory returns with play-by-play. And we saw an exciting third period. Wolverines and Sparty were tied at 1 after the first. Michigan State regained the lead and then added one on top of it, 3-1 at the end of the second period, and a lot of back and forth play. Let's start off with what in particular stood out to you watching that that second period, Kendall?
Well, at the beginning with that Dylan Duke goal, it kind of felt like Michigan was correcting their mistakes. They have a lot of shots in this game. They have 31 shots. How many of them are high danger or quality shot chances? I'm not going to tell you it's most of them. Michigan had been more focused on putting as many shots on net as possible, but with that Dylan Duke goal, there was an excellent pass by Gavin Brindley, found Duke right in front of the net, and he just perfectly placed that shot. That's what Michigan needed to do, and then they stopped doing it again. It just felt like it was about who could get more of an onslaught of shots on net than who could actually try and place one. Then we saw a lot of their neutral zone situations, which has been a continuing struggle throughout this game. They're not doing well on their zone entries and their zone exits. They're giving the puck away too much, they're not setting anything up, and they're overshooting their breakout man on pretty much all of those opportunities. And then finally, on defense, again, the same kind of defensive breakdowns that we saw in the first period. They're playing an okay game, but it's kind of like when it rains, it pours. They have those giveaways at the worst possible opportunity. Few giveaways, but giveaways that are, exactly when you can't afford to have them. Michigan's played some great hockey in this game, and they've shown flashes of a team that can beat this MSU team. It's just the mistakes are in the worst possible positions.
Yeah, this is something you mentioned that it's been a struggle so far this game. I might note that I think it's been a struggle all season for this Michigan team, especially those neutral zone turnovers that you mentioned. Michigan really struggles to hold on to the puck in the neutral zone and on those zone entries and exits. And it's cost them. I like how you classify the game. Wolverines looking for shots rather than real opportunities. Now, how is that compared to how Michigan State has organized their play? How have they set themselves up to find themselves with the 2-goal lead?
Michigan State has also been struggling with the zone entries, kind of like Michigan has. There's been a lot of back and forth. It's been a scrappy game, and I think that's part of it. The second a puck gets on a stick, somebody's hacking away at it. But especially when it comes to shot chances, the Spartans do have 30 shots in this game, but especially in that first period, and we saw it with those 2 Spartan goals, the first from Shouty, the second from Dorwart. They are placing their shots miles better than the Wolverines are right now. They're getting those wide open guys in front of the net. Again, some of those is due to the Wolverines breakdowns, but those opportunities are they're not just trying to get them on net. They're trying to find their corners. They're hitting their guys in front of the crease, and that's been the difference. It's just the quality of the shot chance that the Spartans have taken. The Wolverines have had opportunities. It's not like this is a game where the Sparty is just dominated and they're not even letting the Wolverines breathe in their own offensive zone. It's just the fact that the Spartans, when you look at those shot chances that they've taken, they're miles better than the ones Wolverines have.
And that we've certainly seen play out. I really like how you classified this game. Dependent Fanatic liked it too. And Dependent Fanatic, it's been great to see you in the chat all game. Thank you, actually all of you in the chat, for the support. It's always the shameless plug, but we have to do it. If you enjoy WCBN Sports, free and ad-free coverage of Michigan athletics, including marquee events like the Duel and the D, you can head to WCBN.org and click the donate button. It helps us fund our travels. Alex Miller and TJ Fossmeyer spent the weekend in Tampa Bay covering our softball team as the only broadcasters bringing live coverage of the first 4 games of the 2024 campaign. So if you appreciate what we do or you are enjoying tonight's broadcast, any donation helps at WCBN.org with the donate button. Let's get back to the game and talk about power play and penalty kill. We haven't seen too much. Michigan State and Michigan both have 2 penalties for a total of 4 minutes. And I believe we'll see, the second penalty on each is really going into this third period where they'll be served because of that fight at the very end of the second. So the Wolverines convert on the power play. The Spartans can't. How has that impacted the game, and what should we look for in the third period, special teams-wise?
It's been a credit also to the Spartans' defense that, especially at even strength, they've really prevented the Wolverines from setting up opportunities. We saw that on the power play. We saw the very potent Wolverines offensive play that we've come to know as a fan base. And as broadcasters, they can shoot the puck and they can set up amazing opportunities. It's just that they've struggled to do that. Some of that has been due to the Spartans' really kind of oppressive defense, especially once the Wolverines get into the offensive zone. For the Wolverines, they've played much better. They played much tighter on that power play than we saw them play. That we've seen them play a little bit at even strength. They were really closing gaps, getting up to stop their defenders, and I think Spartans kind of took a page out of the Wolverines book about getting shots on compared to getting quality shots. So it turned out they kind of had a little reversal of roles there on Sparty's power play. But I really liked what I saw from the Wolverines on both ends. Hopefully coming into this one, again, starting it on the power play for Spartans, the Wolverines will tighten up again on defense.
And we'll see what the third period brings. We'll step away for a quick moment. For now, it's the Michigan Marching Band, or Michigan Hockey Band, rather. William Gregory and Kendall Spencer have the third period in just a moment on WCBN.
Welcome back. It's William Gregory once again. We are 2 minutes away from the start of the third period. Thank you to the Michigan Hockey Band for their rendition of I Can't Turn You Loose by Otis Redding. Kendall.
William.
Disappointing second period. So let's talk about Jake Wallman, who wittied after scoring the game-winning overtime goal against the Vancouver Canucks today, a game that I turned off after the conclusion of the second period when the Red Wings were down 3-1. Into my stunning satisfaction, picked up 2 points against the best team in the Western Conference. Very exciting for the Detroit Red Wings, who are 10-2-2 since the start of the new year, firmly in a wild card position in the Eastern Conference, trying to get back to the playoffs for the first time in nearly a decade. Enough about the Wings. As much as I know so many people want them to return to the postseason, we're inside of a minute to go to start this third period. Michigan down 3-1. They'll start the third down a man. Rucker McGroarty picked up an unsportsmanlike conduct after his late shot to end the second. In the scrum that followed, he's in the penalty box for the first 2 minutes of the third. Second Michigan penalty, second power play for MSU. Failed to convert on their last opportunity, the LaPointe holding penalty. But Michigan, on their lone power play of the game, did score their lone goal of the game. It's going to be tough sledding for the Wolverines in this third. Down by 2 against a supreme goaltender in Trey Augustine, who, facing 31 shots tonight, has allowed only 1 goal. Now, Kendall, what do the Wolverines have to do in the third to tie this game and possibly win it in regulation or overtime?
I feel like I'm screaming into the void a little bit about taking quality shot chances. I understand that especially when you're down 2 this late in the game, you want to just try and put as many shots on net and hope that one sticks. That has not been a winning strategy for the Wolverines. They've had a lot of shot chances, and a lot of them have amounted to not even dangerous opportunities.
Well, when you look at those 31 shots, you'd expect more than 1 goal to go in, but you're right, those shots haven't really been quality. They've been soft. They've been haphazardly chosen. With 19:40 to go in the third period, the Spartans have possession. Working down into the Michigan end, picked up by Josh Ernest. He sends it across 2 zones. And now on the kill, the Wolverines able to burn 30 seconds. 19:25 to go in the third, 1:24 to go on the state power play. MSU Now having possession in the offensive zone. Across the boards to Joey Larson. Larson behind the net, Red Savage, who kicks it along to Gavin O'Connell. Excuse me, that's Nicholas Mueller. Red Savage now behind the net, over to Mueller on the right side, left side. Larson, one-timer, is blocked by Jacob Barczewski. Inside of a minute on the kill for the Wolverines. Edwards controls it behind the Michigan net, sends it all the way back down the ice where Augustine has to stop it from inside his crease. And off the rebound, picked up by Matt Basgall. Spartan assistant captain, sophomore from Lake Forest. Basgall skates across center ice. A cross-ice pass attempted to the left side to Daniel Russell off his stick, and the Wolverines able to control it. Short-handed rush for Garrett Shifsky. His shot goes wide left of the net. He had Josh Ernest on the right side, chose to shoot and not pass. And off of the backside boards deflection, Daniel Russell to the near side corner. Has it for Michigan State. Puck dribbles in front of the net, and Garrett Shifsky able to clear with 10 seconds on the Michigan State power play. A lot of force on that clear, sends the puck almost into the neutral zone, but it's recovered by MSU's David Gucciardi. Time expires on the Rucker McGroarty penalty. Michigan back at full strength, and the Spartans send it down for an icing.
I mean, that's really the best that the Wolverines could ask for to start this third period. They really tightened things up on that defense there. They even got some shorthanded chances. The defense hasn't been the best, but it hasn't been the problem. It's just been those kind of costly mistakes at the worst moments.
And not clearing pucks after rebounds. A few Spartan goals coming after chances for Wolverine defenders to get the puck out of the zone off of first chance opportunities turning into second chance opportunities. Face off in the Michigan State end, won by the Wolverines. Gavin Brindley in the slot. Shot goes wide right. And off the rebound, another shot at it by Tyler Duke. Puck bouncing around, battle for it between a few Spartans, a few Wolverines. Puck eventually sent back down, even with the sliding Tommy Manisto. Wolverines ice the puck after receiving it in their own end with 17:22 to go in the third period. Shots even for both these teams at 31, but Kendall, like you talked about, not exactly quality for the Wolverines, and they haven't gotten to the best start offensively here in the third period. Brindley, that was a good chance in the slot, just sent it wide right, and that has kind of been the story today. The Wolverines not accurate with their shot placement.
Yeah, and I think it's been really evident when you look at the Spartan shots, which are, like absolute rockets lacing the top corner. It's just been a bit unfortunate bounce for the Wolverines as well.
Spartans send the puck back down the ice off the icing and get a shot in front of Barczewski, who saves it. And another face-off in the Wolverine zone. TJ Hughes on the draw against Nicholas Mueller. Michigan wins it, send it all the way back down to the Spartan end, and another icing. We have seen Michigan, and Kendall, you and I called a game December of 2022 at Munn Ice Arena, which we have both said was like the worst hockey game we've ever seen, where Michigan constantly was dumping it into the Spartan end. They lose that game 2-1. And this game hasn't flowed exactly the same way, but it has certainly not been as excited for the Wolverines in transition.
Yeah, the Wolverines could use to improve some of their zone entries, their zone exits, especially when they're getting out of their own defensive zone. I mean, it feels like 4 out of 5 times they're not getting out, and the Spartans just end up making a mistake, and that's how they get the puck out.
Barczewski sends it along the boards to, or attempts to at least, to Dylan Duke. Luca Fantilli trying to clean it up before the Spartans can take possession. Digging for the puck on the far side boards in front of the right face-off circle. Eventually the puck dribbles out to Luca Fantilli, recovered by Jacob Truscott. Truscott across ice to TJ Hughes against Nash Nienhaus. Nienhaus able to poke it away. Larson checked by Fantilli on the near side boards, loses it, and Michigan again elects to lift it down the ice. Jacob Truscott. It looked to be a pass attempted towards TJ Hughes, too far out in front, and with 16:11 to go in the third period, Augustine sits on that puck. You're listening to 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. WCBN Sports live coverage of the 2024 Duel in the D, live from Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Michigan down 1-3 against the Michigan State Spartans, having their best season on the ice in nearly 15 years.
Yeah, the Spartans currently sitting atop the Big Ten. I mean, they've just been a powerhouse. It's been really interesting to see them, as it feels like in the past couple years they've kind of been dominated by the Wolverines.
Fast break, Daniel Russell in the slot. Shot deflected right side by Jacob Barczewski. Another shot goes wide. Gucciardi there on the play. Across the ice to Maxim Sturbach, who was on the left side point. His shot is weaker than the last two, and the Wolverines able to dig it out of their zone. Garrett Shifsky from the neutral zone shot onto Augustine, who elects not to hold the puck and instead drops it off for a teammate. Gucciardi all the way back down the ice to Barczewski, deflected in front by Tyler Duke, and eventually the Wolverines and Nazar, who loses the puck to Shouty. Wolverines had crossed the neutral zone. It's been hard-fought battle for the puck over the last 60 seconds. Behind the net now, Tyler Duke. Shoved by Tanner Kelly, who's got a goal tonight and an assist. Eventually, Duke works his way to the puck, past center ice to Frank Nazar. Manufactures a chance on the left side to Rucker McGroarty, and McGroarty mishandles that puck. Inside of 15 minutes now in the third period, Wolverines need to get some offensive production going, and that kind of miscue will not lead to anything they want.
Felt like earlier the Wolverines were trying to throw shots on net because Augustine was giving up a couple rebounds, but he's pretty much stifled those.
Ernest dumps it in. Augustine plays it along the boards, attempting a pass to Reed Lebster. Lebster trying to get it out, fought by Ernest, eventually works around the boards to Jacob Truscott on the left side, who attempts to fire it in close to the net. Patrick Geary able to dig it out for the Spartans. Good speed by Reed Lebster all the way down behind the goal line of Michigan to recover that puck before TJ Hughes haphazardly throws a pass to Dylan Duke. Loses it for Michigan. They're unable to exit their defensive zone, and a shot by Jeremy Davidson on the right side, stopped by Barczewski. 13:56 to go in the third period. Still 3-1. Michigan has been stonewalled defensively by MSU to start this third period. They need the offense to start coming in a hurry with this goaltender on the other side, Trey Augustine, not liable to give up too many mistakes, especially after already allowing one goal tonight. He has proven to be a great obstacle for Michigan so far this season. Philip Lapointe up the right side off the face-off that Michigan wins. Lapointe around the boards to Marshall Warren. Warren digging for the puck, has aid coming in the form of Marcus Stappa. Stappa and Warren both on their knees trying to get to the puck. Eventually it's won by MSU. A slipping Joey Larson working all the way back down into the Michigan end before being checked by Marshall Warren on the near side boards in the Michigan zone. 3 Spartans, 4 Wolverines trying to dig this puck out. Gucciardi eventually ends up with it along the blue line. A check by Chase Pletsky on Maxim Sturbach is ill-advised. Spartans still working with the puck. Gavin O'Connell diving for it. Ends up with Gucciardi, puts a shot on Barczewski, goes wide off a rebound. Pletsky trying to dig it out, doesn't do a great job. It's too weak, and Gavin O'Connell captures it out in front of his body. Spartans still challenging for the puck, eventually won away by Stephen Holtz, who attempts a sloppy pass into the neutral zone, and it is intercepted by Michigan State. Dorwart, no teammates around after he receives the puck, loses it. Back to Holtz, who gets the puck to Draper, and Draper sends it all the way back down the ice. A big check put on Draper by Daniel Russell, and Draper is still down in the neutral zone. Draper clearly getting his bell rung. He'll skate off the ice under his own power.
Yeah, it looked like Moore just kind of got the wind knocked out of him there. It was a tough one. Looks like he'll head back probably to get checked out. Doesn't seem to be a penalty called on that. Nope. Clean hit, just very hard.
No penalty, 12:25 to go in the third period. Face-off occurring on the far side dot, closer to Trey Augustine. Won by Michigan State. MSU up ice. Isaac Howard trying to pass it along the backside boards, picked up by Ethan Edwards for Michigan. Edwards lifts a pass across 2 zones and another icing. And again, Michigan just not even attempting an offensive entry. A pass by Edwards out in front of everyone. And Michigan not challenging the Spartans on offense in this third period.
No, not at all. And like I mentioned, Wolverines have just kind of struggled to get anything set up. Half of that has been a credit to the Spartans' defense. They've done a really good job of intercepting those passes, breaking up any offensive chances, but also the Wolverines just haven't been connecting on their passes.
Michigan wins the faceoff in their own end. Nazar attempting a zone entry, poked away by Tanner Kelly, and fires it all the way back down behind the Michigan net where Seamus Casey, who has been quiet tonight, has to retrieve for Michigan. Right side now, Ethan Edwards up to Gavin Brindley, who lets that pass go off his stick. Not a great first touch by Brindley, but the Wolverines able to keep possession before a pass goes all the way around the boards. Luca Fantilli not able to corral it and goes back down to the Michigan end. Below the goal line, Fantilli skating up. Across center ice, left side Truscott. Along the boards, picked up by David Gucciardi for Michigan State. Gucciardi into the neutral zone, trying to get the puck to Nicholas Mueller. Ends up with Reed Lebster. Lebster, a shot goes wide. Jeremy Davidson around the net as well. And off the rebound, Michigan able to control. Truscott attempts a pass to Ernest in the neutral zone. It's lost. And Lebster going to Davidson. Pass too far out in front. Lebster trying to beat Luca Fantilli to the corner, and does. Lebster recovers the puck for Michigan State. Pass into the zone from the point, out in front of the net. A couple chances for MSU, can't convert. They keep possession. Lebster tries a pass. It's picked off by Dylan Duke. Duke gets it to Hughes. Shifsky tries something in the slot, but loses the puck. The freshman can't keep possession for Michigan, and with 10:23 to go in the third period, Michigan just needs something to go offensively.
Just saw a quick succession of high danger chances for the Spartans. Some of that was good defensive setup by the Wolverines. A lot of that not ending up in a goal was pure luck.
Behind the net, recovered by Gavin O'Connell. O'Connell into the slot to Red. Savage is stopped by Jacob Barcheski. Has to dive to keep the rebound from going away. Marcus Stapa shoved to the ice. It's Levshunov Larson for MSU instigating in front of the Michigan net. Shifsky and Moldenauer in there as well for the Wolverines. Tyler Duke.
Levshunov has been all over the ice tonight, especially when it comes to those front of the goalie scraps that both teams seem to keep wanting to get into. But the save there by Barchevsky also brings up a point that while both goaltenders have had pretty good games, only 3 goals on 38 shots for the Spartans and only 1 goal on 32 shots for the Wolverines, the kinds of saves the goaltenders are being asked to make are completely different. Barchevsky has had to be, very acrobatic tonight, some pretty incredible glove saves, whereas a lot of the ones on Augustine, they've just been straight to the chest.
And Michigan has been shut down this weekend by MSU. Last series it was 10 goals for Michigan. 12 goals for Michigan in that first weekend set. So far only 2 this weekend for the nation's highest scoring team. Obviously Trey Augustine on the other end has a big part to play in that effort for Michigan State. But the Wolverines, it's been a tale of these 2 series. They haven't been able to go on offense, and it's been troublesome to see with how high-powered this offense can be, just to see them so out of sync. Especially, you don't want this lack of momentum coming out of this weekend to translate to the rest of the season, where the Wolverines have 3 series left, and each of them means so much for their chances for the postseason.
No, absolutely. It's a credit to MSU, but it's also just a worrying trend for the Wolverines. I mean, Yes, the Spartans have been outstanding this year, but in the time between those two series, have they really gotten that much better at their transition defense, or being able to break up the Wolverines' passes, or is it a combination of both? We don't know, but it could be worrying considering how important these next few games are, like you've mentioned.
9:59 to go in the third period. 10 minutes in the duel in the D. Spartans trying to win it for the first time in 2017. Frank Nazar wins the faceoff for Michigan. A tie-up between Seamus Casey and Daniel Russell, eventually won by the Wolverines. Rucker McGroarty between the legs of Gucciardi, trying to get it to Nazar, who crashes into the boards and cannot come up with the puck. Eventually works below the goal line. It's dug out by Jacob Barczewski. Pass away to Seamus Casey, who gets it to Ethan Edwards. Edwards up ice to McGroarty. Cross ice pass too far out in front for Brindley. Brindley using his speed to get to the puck. Eventually finds it, wheels around, shot goes wide left. Jacob Truscott off the rebound, trying to find it. Brindley eventually skates inside from right to left. Attempts a pass to McGroarty, too far out in front. McGroarty's got it on the right side, inside of Brindley, and he scores! 3-2. McGroarty to Brindley. Who else would you want? The sophomore superstars coming up big for Michigan.
And that's absolutely what the Wolverines needed to focus on. That was a perfect setup. The pass by McGroarty was spot on. It found Brindley from right to left of the crease. He just tapped it in past Augustine. It was a perfect setup and a perfect pass by McGroarty.
And almost a goal by McGroarty himself. Perfect spot for Brindley to take advantage. And on a possession where those two had some missed opportunities, missed connections that could have led to more shots on goal, eventually connecting. I mean, it's hard to keep those two off the scoreboard, and now it's a one-goal game with 9:02 left to go in the third period, which is a big difference from that two-goal deficit that the Wolverines were facing, especially after last night being down 3-1 in the third period, eventually losing 5-1 on two empty netters. Michigan showing some fight in the late stages of this game.
I mean, if they hadn't scored on that, I would have been talking about those missed passes, especially there was a long one up the side to Brindley that could have been a great chance, but Brindley managed to catch up with, and all those mistakes get erased.
Red Wings organist Lance Luce on the goal announcement, hitting the keys and getting this Wolverine crowd involved. Michigan attempting to recapture momentum inside of 10 minutes. Shot by TJ Hughes. Rebound not corralled by Trey Augustine, but it's sent back down the ice where Nick Moldenauer will recover, not before it's an icing.
And you need to hope that that goal kind of brought some momentum to the Wolverines, as well as maybe rattled Augustine a bit. It was not a mistake that he made, so you can't really blame him for that one, but it was a goal that you don't want to give up. Not just because, obviously, you don't want to give up any goals, but just the location, how close to the crease it was. Hope that maybe he's shaken a bit and that you're able to get another chance.
And Augustine did let up, like I said, 12 goals last weekend series against the Spartans that Michigan played them. 12 goals that Augustine let up, certainly a season high for him. Marshall Warren running with the puck. Dumps it into Augustine, who gloves it. And Warren behind the net, jawing with a Spartan.
No other rivalry in college hockey has played as many games as these two teams have, and it's pretty evident with just how much hatred you can see on the ice tonight. I mean, it feels like every goaltender stop, every time they glove it, it's ended up with a tussle at the front of the net.
These two teams do not like each other. Stephen Holtz. Shot goes wide right off the faceoff. Spartans coming back down the ice. Davidson attempts a pass to Nicholas Mueller on the left side. Picked up by the Wolverines. Garrett Shifsky across center ice. Pass down behind the Michigan State net. Dug out by Trey Augustine. Augustine tries to get it to Reed Lebster, digging along the boards, passes backwards to Levshinov. Levshinov attempts to get it back up to Lebster, picked off by Garrett Shifsky. Shifsky pass along the boards to Jacob Truscott. Truscott stops, Wheels around the face-off circle, loses the puck. Pass up by the Spartans, picked up by the Wolverines. And now Stephen Holtz, after a line change, will reset for Michigan. Lebster for State to Larson. Larson's got 2 Michigan defenders on him. Wheeling around the net, Tyler Duke does a good job to separate Larson from the puck. Casey, pressured by Levshinov. Left side now, Chase Pletsky. Pletsky's shot on net is deflected, around the boards, where it's picked up by Seamus Casey. Casey back to Pletsky. Pletsky attempts it, backside boards pass to Dylan Duke. It ends up now with Gavin Brindley on the left side. Tyler Duke on the right. Tyler Duke on the left side. Too many Dukes, too many sides. Across center ice go the Spartans. O'Connell to Larson. Larson bothered by Tyler Duke. A good poke check by the Michigan defenseman to keep that puck from entering Jacob Barczewski's crease with any amount of force that would have been able to get it past him. Saved by Barczewski with 6:28 to go in the third period, and Michigan will have a face-off in their own end.
Tyler Duke has made some great plays, especially on those Michigan State breakaway chances. He's done a great job of sticking close to the forward, preventing them from getting any real shot off. Or even if they do, it makes it a lot easier for Barczewski to save it.
Michigan wins the face-off, puck all the way down where Dylan Duke trying to retrieve it below the Spartan goal line. Michigan State bats it all the way back down in the Michigan end. Warren up ice now. Ernessy. Nice move to get around Nienhaus, but it's poked away by Carson Dorwar. Nash Nienhaus lifts a pass where it is picked up by Marshall Warren off the boards across the neutral zone where the Spartans gain possession. A shot by Daniel Russell in front of the net is blocked by Barczewski, and off the rebound Marshall Warren sends it to Rutger McGroarty, sends it back down to the Michigan State end. Line change for the Wolverines. McGroarty, nice forecheck on Isaac Howard. Has to get him to pass the puck backwards. Now a good chance in front by Tiernan. Shouty off the post. Batted away by Stephen Holtz. Off the rebound, another shot attempt by Matt Basgall. And the Wolverines have a rush. Rutger McGroarty tries to pass it backwards to Gavin Brindley, but it's poked away by Michigan State. But how about the stand by Jacob Barczewski in that Wolverine defense on a quick opportunity that materialized for Shouty. Another quick one here for MSU. Manisto in front. Good job by Jacob Truscott to poke that puck away with 5:05 to go in the third period.
Marc-Andre Fleury, NHL goaltender, always thanks his posts after big shots like that. I wonder if Barczewski's going to do the same. It hit, I think, the side and the top crossbar. I mean,
well, it was like the corner
yeah,
joint between the crossbar and the left post.
That's might want to give it a little pat for that one.
Oh, yeah, and it hung out in front of the net where Stephen Holtz was able to slap it away. Still generated another chance for the Spartans. Wolverines trying to dig it out of their own end after winning the faceoff. Moldenauer left side. He's got Draper in the center, tries to pass to him, but it's too far out in front, glove by Augustine. 3-2. You're listening to 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. WCBN Sports live coverage of the Duel in the D. 4:50 to go in the third. MSU still up by 1 after a beautiful pass from Rutger McGroarty to Gavin Brindley, who tapped a puck in for Michigan's second goal of the game. It's still crunch time for the Wolverines. Face-off in the Spartan end, lost. MSU's got it. Lifting a pass was Jeremy Davidson, intended for Reed Lebster. Lebster, again, skating into that near corner behind the goal line. Tyler Duke able to dig it out for the Wolverines. Duke up to Hughes. Pass right side to Ernessy, who, in an attempt to get it to Dylan Duke down ice, is picked off by Joey Larson. TJ Hughes off of a loose deflection shoots one above the head of Trey Augustine and out of play.
There have been 78 shots in this game and only 5 goals.
Two fantastic goaltenders. As we look at the previous Duel in the D matchups, last one a 4-3 OT winner by Luke Hughes to keep that win streak going for Michigan. MSU last won this game in 2016, a 3-2 overtime win for the Spartans. one other game, a shootout, 5-4 Michigan win in 2017, went to an extra period. And we'd love to see an extra period of hockey in this game. It has been a fantastic one. Nearly 4 minutes to go here in the third period. Far side corner, Nazar battling along with Levshinov, won by the Spartans. MSU turns it over in the neutral zone. Ethan Edwards centering a pass to McGroarty. Over to Nazar, right side. Nice move by Nazar. Nazar still out in front. A shot. Chance by Nazar. And he really didn't even get a shot off when he got close to Augustine, but the stick control to get there in the first place, weaving through defenders, eventually losing control in front of the net, hitting the boards. Oh my goodness, as we look at the replay, nearly between his legs around Levshinov. And it hit the boards, got another shot on net, but by that point, Augustine's leg was locked on the post and no chance for any shot.
That was a fantastic stick handling sequence. First from McGroarty to keep it away from Joey Larson, and then by Nazar to even get any attempt off. I mean, really showing just how talented these Michigan forwards are.
Daniel Russell leaves one out in front of the slot to Dorwart. Off the rebound, the shot had gone wide. Michigan State still battling for it. Dorwart another shot in front of the net. Gucciardi now top of the slot, blocked by Barczewski. And Jacob Barczewski, what a job in net he has done today. Another save, he sits on it, 3:18 to go, face off in the Michigan end.
Half of Barczewski's saves have come off like extremely high danger chances or situations like that where there's 5 guys directly in front of him and almost no one can tell where the puck is. He has definitely been very sharp, especially in this third period.
Barzo's got 40 saves tonight. And Michigan has just needed to score here. The average is nearly 4.5 goals this season.
Barczewski also from O'Fallon, Missouri, which is as close to St. Louis as I can get in this one for my shout-out.
Face-off in the Wolverine end, Estapa versus Tiernan Shouty. Shouty on that bottom line has had a few chances tonight. That bottom line for MSU has been productive, 2 goals. And the puck sent all the way back down to Augustine, who, leaving the crease, passes up where it's eventually corralled by Kelly. Tanner Kelly, good stick by Edwards out in front to bother him. Kelly has to dump it underneath to Shouty. Shouty skating around the net now at the right side corner where he's knocked down by Ethan Edwards. Good defensive sequence by Edwards, and Michigan recovers the puck, but not before Estapa sends it back down for an icing.
Yeah, Tanner Kelly, the junior from San Diego, has really been all over the ice tonight for the Spartans. When they started the fourth line, maybe it was a bit of a head scratcher, but you can absolutely see why. They have kind of been the fire beneath this team in this game.
.237 to go in the third period. Still 3-2. Michigan's got to get another shot. And an attempt for overtime for the 4th time in this game. State wins the faceoff. It's Geary underneath below the goal line to Lebster. Lebster bothered by Ernest as he attempts to go back towards the blue line into the corner to Davidson. Davidson and Mueller attempting to dig it out for MSU. Edwards, Pletsky, and Estapa in there for Michigan. Eventually won by Mark Estapa. Up the boards to Ernest, who can't come into possession of the puck. It's still a battle for it in this corner, just back and forth, back and forth. Neither team can keep possession for more than a second or two. Same crew in there again. Lebster eventually comes away with it. It's poked away. Estapa. Edwards loses track of the puck, eventually comes up with it. Up to the left side of Marshall Warren. Warren dumps it into Augustine, who leaves it for Patrick Geary. Full line change for both these teams, and they need it. That was heavy effort by both the Spartans and the Wolverines to dig that puck out. Wolverines turn it over in the Spartan end. Up the left side is Larson. Larson poked away nicely by Seamus Casey, and Casey finds McGroarty on the right side. McGroarty up to Brindley. Top scoring line out there for the Wolverines.
Barczewski is off the ice.
Empty net for Michigan with 1:20 to go in the third period. Casey to McGroarty. 6 men out there for Michigan. Brindley left side. Shot is deflected by Augustine. Casey, slow dribbler in front of the net, a chance for Michigan. They can't come up with anything but keep the puck. A minute to go. Battle for it. Kept by Brindley. Still that empty net. Michigan has to keep this puck. Brindley, right side McGroarty. Point to Casey. His shot is deflected by Augustine. Keeps it in the zone, does Casey. No chance for the empty netter for Michigan State. Brindley. Back to Casey at the point. McGroarty out in front. Puck deflected. Back down the ice. Wide right of the empty net. Michigan skating down for it inside of 30 seconds. It was a golden chance for Michigan. The puck just hung right there. It was an icing for State. The clock is stopped. 27.3 seconds to go. Face off in the Spartan end. Kendall, another chance squandered.
I mean, you could not have asked for a better opportunity. There just wasn't a single Wolverine who was capable of getting it. I mean, Dylan Duke, it just dribbled off of the back of his stick.
He hit it with the wrong side of his stick.
I mean, even if he had just gotten a bit more force on it, that would have been a game-tying goal. It's just the worst possible angle the puck could have taken, and it barely dribbled off his stick. He was perfectly placed. Dylan Duke had done everything right to get that rebound, and he can't get it in.
Duke with a power play goal tonight, the first goal for Michigan that had tied it at 1-1 in the second. Michigan takes timeout with 27.3 to go in the third period.
And I mean, it feels like I don't want to start quitting too soon, but it feels like you're not going to get an opportunity like that again. That was the chance. That was what they needed. Everything was set up perfectly for them to convert. And just like it's kind of been all game, they just couldn't do it.
And Michigan unable to come up with that chance. The broadcaster cam is back on the YouTube feed. If you're listening live on FM radio, this is 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. But for those of you listening to us on YouTube, hi, how you doing? It's an exciting third period so far, and with only 27 seconds left, Michigan needs a chance off this faceoff. Realistically, earlier this year, I'd called a goal against Lindenwood where Marshall Warren got one off the faceoff, put it in immediately. Michigan needs a chance like that. Now with 6 skaters, Barczewski's still off. All forwards except for Seamus Casey. And I think MSU is going to use their timeout right after Michigan had come back out onto the ice. And I mean, it's the 6 guys who you want out there. McGroarty, Brindley, Casey, Duke, Nazar, Hughes. If I'm not mistaken, the 6 highest scorers in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, they just showed that on the TV feed a little bit ago is the highest points per game average, and it's Wolverine. And it couldn't be a better time for those high scorers to score than in these next 27 seconds.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at 6 guys averaging over a point a game is incredible. But Michigan still only 2 goals. They've had the opportunities, 41 shots on goal. Trey Augustine, a fantastic effort. And not to discount what Jacob Barczewski's done on the other end, just one too many to make this a 3-2 deficit for Michigan. And with 27.3 seconds to go, both teams use their timeout to recover, draw up some plays on what they're going to do. TJ Hughes to take the face-off, not Frank Nazar, as we've seen for most of this game, taking the face-offs for Michigan. Hughes on the draw, wins it for the Wolverines. Brindley left side off a pass from Casey. Too far out in front. Michigan still has it. Brindley, another shot goes wide right. And now MSU, an attempt to clear it, kept in the zone by Casey. Seamus Casey has to go back out with 13.5 to go. Clock stops. The clock is stopped on the Jumbotron. Now inside of 10 seconds. Michigan. One more chance is all they need. 4, 3. One last shot attempt from McGroarty is blocked, and that'll do it. For the first time since 2016, the Michigan State Spartans win the Duel in the D. And for Adam Nightingale, this program has been resurrected from what it was under their previous head coach, Danton Cole. Had not surpassed 13 Big Ten wins in a season. This is a program record, now 14 for MSU. The best Spartan team we have seen since 2007, when these Spartans won the national title. Michigan State this season takes 3 out of 4 in the regular season against Michigan. The only win for the Wolverines coming in East Lansing, a 7-1 victory on January 20th.
And I mean, it felt like the past couple of years, it had been Michigan beating up on Michigan State, and this is, this is kind of the genesis of, the crux of it all, coming to this moment and beating Michigan, getting this trophy back for the first time in so long on such a bright stage. I mean, like, for a Michigan State program that, like you said, it's been resurrected. I mean, this is the culminating moment, and it's only going to go up from here.
Handshake line across center ice. Will stay on air until 11:30 tonight on FM 88.3 FM, WCBN FM Ann Arbor. They're rolling the red carpet out for the presentation of the Iron D Trophy. We talked to Connor Eargood, we mentioned this earlier, that the Iron D Trophy is very heavy, and the Michigan coaching staff was unsure what they would do if they had to give it up to MSU. They do here for the first time in 6 years. Spartans win for the second time in this event. It's all been held at LCA, Little Caesars Arena. And the trophy, which is being held on a knee by whoever's got it in the tunnel. I mean, that thing looks huge. They're putting a table out for it and everything. Spartans staying on the ice. The Wolverines going back to the dressing room. And these two teams, the most played rivalry in college hockey. This one lived up to the billing. A late goal by Gavin Brindley gave the Wolverines life, but it was too little too late. Michigan can't convert on a golden opportunity with about a minute left. Dylan Duke, softly, wrong side of a stick, however you want to say it, had the puck in the crease and a chance to tie this game and send it to overtime for a second consecutive year. Didn't go for his second goal of the game. And MSU picks up another victory against the Wolverines. The Wolverines unable to pick up a point this weekend in a pivotal series for the Wolverines for the rest of the season. They sit at 5th in the Big Ten. A series against Penn State next week, then Notre Dame, and then Minnesota. It's shaping up to be Notre Dame that Michigan will play in the Big Ten quarterfinals in South Bend, Indiana, if something doesn't change. The Wolverines still ranked number 11 right now, taking 2 losses to a superior opponent. Chances are good for the regionals, but Michigan's got to pick it up down the stretch of the season.
Yeah, lots of really important Big Ten play coming up with teams that are ahead of them in the standings.
Senior Nash Niedhaus, who's Canadian, he's from Sarnia though, across the St. Clair River from Port Huron, a captain for these Spartans, set to take the trophy along with his 2 assistant captains, Matt Basgall, sophomore from Lake Forest, as well as Carson Dorwart, who had a great goal today, sophomore from Sherwood, Oregon. Nicholas Mueller, the 3rd assistant captain, a 5th-year senior, turning 25 years old on June 21st of this year from Arisdorf, Switzerland, posing in front of the Iron D Trophy.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for this year's winner of the Duel in the D, the Michigan
Basgall and
Spartans.
Niedhaus in tandem take the Iron D Trophy to their huddle of teammates who celebrate, gloves and sticks and helmets all over the ice here at Little Caesars Arena. And MSU walks away with one of the only rivalry trophies I've seen in college hockey other than the Beanpot, and the most played rivalry in college hockey.
Once again, your final score this evening here at
Well, Kendall, we're on here until 11:30, so we're going to have to talk about something. There goes my dream of going to Lafayette, Coney Island. I'm with 3 non-Michiganders. In Lafayette, even with the troubles, is open until 2 in the morning. Give these folks a taste of Detroit. But every bar that's open late tonight will certainly be filled with Spartans happy about this weekend sweep of the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, just an unfortunate game for the Wolverines. I mean, once Dylan Duke failed to convert on that final chance, it just kind of felt like the nail in the coffin. Unfortunately, I have said every single thing I can possibly say about this game. I have run out of thoughts about this game.
Well, we got 35 more minutes.
I am aware that
so
we have 35 more
we got to
minutes.
put a show on for the people here on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor back home. Well, I mean, I'm actually closer to my real home right now. You all came from Ann Arbor. I came from Grosse Pointe, Michigan. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump down East Jefferson for me. But the Wolverines having to play Penn State in State College next week. WCBN will not be sending a crew there, unfortunately. I would have liked to go, but Kendall and I, along with Alex Miller and Kellen Flynn, will be in Iowa City for the potentially a huge game against Caitlin Clark and the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Potentially calling the record-breaking shot, as Caitlin Clark is only 36 away from breaking that record. There's one more game tomorrow against Nebraska, I believe, on the road. Lisa Bluter has said that is their goal to break it at home, but obviously winning against Nebraska is more important. So there is a chance we see it. There's a chance we don't. But I really hope we do.
I'm excited to go to Iowa again. The Nebraska trip for the football game this fall was very fun. Stopped in a few places in Iowa along the way, and I really enjoyed it. It was my first time in that state.
I have been to Iowa quite a few times.
Well,
my
yeah.
family's. That was not for you. My dad is from there. I've been to quite a few Iowa Hawkeye football games because I grew up an Iowa fan, but I've actually never been to Carver Hawkeye Arena, so this will be my first time there. And I'm very excited. I am a huge Caitlin Clark fan still, though I am now a Wolverine. It's really hard not to root for her, especially as someone that has grown up an Iowa fan for their entire life. But should be a good game. Like Will said, that'll be broadcast live on WCBN if you want to tune into that at any point.
It's been a busy February so far for WCBN Sports. We sent Alex Miller and TJ Fossmeyer to Tampa, Florida this weekend for the season opening softball tournament for the Michigan Wolverines softball team, who are looking pretty good after a down year last season. Haven't really found the groove since the retirement of Carol Hutchins, their old head coach, but hopefully getting back to that level this season. And as we pull up the rest of our broadcast schedule, men's lacrosse will open on the 12th against Canisius. One more softball game this weekend, but Alex Miller and TJ Fossmeyer are on their way home. Men's basketball team goes to Champaign, Illinois. We will not be sending a crew there, unfortunately, so that next broadcast will be in Iowa City against the Iowa Hawkeyes. Very excited for that one. And then a chance for Michigan to get revenge against the Spartans in both men's and women's basketball on the 17th and 18th, respectively, in Chrysler Arena. With this, you wouldn't call it humiliation. It wasn't a humiliating loss, but Michigan unable to secure a point this weekend as they look towards the hockey postseason. So I can't, divorce my thoughts from Jake Wallman,
Jake Wallman, Widowee
hitting the Gwitty against the Vancouver Canucks.
Jake Wallman, former St. Louis Blue.
And the lost Hughes brother.
He was not that good as a Blue. I liked him. I thought he was a good player, but he was not. I'm glad he's had a career resurgence. That he's doing so well for the Red Wings, but I miss him on the Blues.
He's a first pairing defenseman along with Moritz Seider, who's in line for a huge extension. I'm excited to see what kind of money he's going to make. The young defender, former Rookie of the Year.
What are we even
for the
doing?
Red Wings. We've got the camera out on the YouTube broadcast. We're still live on FM. Okay. Do we want to switch out here? Do you want to go?
There's just a long microphone cord. I don't know what we're talking about. I could talk about hockey, other hockey, if you want to hear about the Five Nations tournament. I could talk about that.
Well, so I just took over for William. We're going to talk about everything and anything hockey.
Who wants to talk about the Five Nations tournament?
What is the Five
I'll
Nations
give this to you in a
tournament?
minute, and I'm going to talk about Five Nations. Five Nations is an international tournament that consists of the United States of America, Finland, Switzerland, Sweden, and Czechia. And this year, the U18 version of that tournament took place in Plymouth, Michigan at USA Hockey Arena, where I work. So
Yes.
this is my 7th hockey game this week because I have been there all week, and I'm bringing this up to sound like so happy, and it stank. The United States lost to Sweden with 1 second left in the game, which then lost them the tournament because it's points-based, and all they had to do was not get beat outright. And they were 1 second from not getting beat outright.
And so who will be playing in the final of the tournament?
It's over. It's points-based. So this was
Purely
the last.
points-based.
This was the last game, and Sweden won. So it was basically a final game. Congrats to the Swedes, I guess.
Okay.
There are two future Wolverines on that team. That is Christian Epperson and Dakota Rayum Mullen. Dakota Rayum Mullen, you might be like, Rayum, that's familiar. Yeah, his mom is Manon Rayum, and if you know who that is, I'm proud of you.
I do not know who that is.
She is the only woman to ever play in an NHL game. She was a preseason Lightning goaltender for 1 game, and he says his hockey hero is his mom. And then there is a Spartan on that team. There might be more Spartans, but I can only think of Shane Van Sage because he's from St. Louis. There's probably another Spartan, but I can't think of them.
Okay, let's.
That's that.
All right, let's return to Michigan hockey.
You guys can. That was my time waster.
Oh, okay. All right, that's your time
Jake Singer,
waster.
you can get on here.
Well, we're on camera because we have some time to kill. 29 minutes to be exact. So we are going to do our first ever live TV style Michigan hockey postgame show on WCBN. Jake, let's talk about the upcoming Wolverines schedule. Penn State, Notre Dame, Minnesota, I believe, are the 3 series to round out the season, correct? Yes. One of the things about being on camera is normally you can't tell when I look at someone else to double check that I'm correct, which I do a lot. All right, so three series to close it out. Penn State, Notre Dame, Minnesota, very challenging teams to face off against, especially those latter 2 weeks, and Minnesota always puts together a good team. Michigan really needs to win out for tournament hopes, especially considering the NCAA tournament, never mind the Big Ten tournament itself. Need to win out if they want to host a home first-round series in the Big Ten tournament. What do they need to change from their performance tonight to start winning these games?
You know, you saw in this whole series that Michigan really got off to a hot start and then kind of dwindled at the end. And you saw a team tonight, even last night, when they started getting behind, they just started putting together poor shooting opportunities. And that's where I really think things went downhill. Michigan was playing very well when the game was tied 1-1, but the second that Michigan State scored that second goal to go up 2-1, you saw that shot selection start becoming a little bit more flimsy, and you started just them kind of pouring it on against the goaltender. That's not going to work against these top teams. Michigan State's a top team. Minnesota's a top team. Notre Dame's a top team. All these teams that are amazing, not only in Big Ten play, but also in NCAA play, you can't just rely upon a goaltender just making a mistake and you getting a goal in. That's not going to work anymore. So you have a guy like Barczewski who has a lot of college hockey, but he's not perfect. And you have a very young defensive core and you have a very young forward core. And with that, you need to put together more sets. You have to come out with more attacks. You might have to, force a few extra penalties. This team is fantastic on the power play. So all that being said, when you're playing a really good team, many teams coming up in the future, you need this team to really start working together and coming out and looking more confident when they start going down, because we've seen many teams come from behind against Michigan, but we haven't necessarily seen that from Michigan's side of things, going down and coming from behind and winning a lot of games on the flip side.
And I hear what you're saying about what they need to change, but why do you think these teams are able to come back against Michigan? What is it that specifically collapses for the Wolverines?
It could be a whole bunch of things. I think, number one, it's probably about experience. This Michigan team has been so fortunate with as much talent as they've had in the past, but with that much talent, you have a lot of guys coming and going. And this year, you saw even more change than the last 2 years. You got a new goaltender. You got pretty much an entire new 2 lines. You're bringing a lot of transfers, a lot of new freshmen. And these guys are very talented. A lot of them have already been drafted. Some more will be drafted in the future. But a lot of things that like Michigan State has been doing, for example, is bringing guys and keeping them there. And you see with Minnesota as well, developing players. And with a team like Michigan that's been so talented in past years with so many good players that are not just going into the draft but in the top 5 picks of the draft, that's where I start seeing these teams that have more experience coming down the stretch just know how to close out games, whereas Michigan is just trusting its skill, and that's why it's biting them in the back.
And it's not necessarily, like you said, trusting your skill hasn't been working for them, biting them in the back, and so they need to adjust looking towards the rest of the season. But it's tough. They're a young team, like you said. They're focusing kind of on those shots rather than those cohesive team opportunities. We saw a few at the very end of the game. There's that scramble in front of that. It just didn't work out for Michigan. And Sparty ekes this one out. They steal a series. The Wolverines have loved to split. They haven't gotten swept too many times this year. So it doesn't work out. We know where they go forward from here and how they change it. But the question, I think, really comes down to, can they make these changes this late in the year? What do you think?
I think it's possible, and I think it's very strongly possible, I should say, because you've seen these teams kind of have these weird skids in the last few years, and they've been able to turn it around. Brent Arado has been a great coach for Michigan. He's figured out a way to win in big games, in tournament games, getting these teams far in, and there's no question of talent on this team. All these guys are very talented players. And while there is, yes, necessarily a gap in terms of veteranship, you still have a lot of guys who are sophomores, a few juniors, a very few seniors who do have a lot of experience. And especially with so many guys playing in the World Juniors, they also have experience even just this year playing in big games against really good competition. So I do think there's a possibility of turning things around. I think the main thing is, though, you're not necessarily going to expect it in the regular season, but definitely if you get to the Big Ten tournament, yeah, you might not be able to host a game. But if you just see if you just saw Wisconsin, you just saw Ohio State, you just saw Michigan State now, you're going to see Notre Dame, you're going to see Penn State, and then you're going to see Minnesota. You're playing all the top teams in the last 3 weeks of the season. So you're pretty likely to play a lot of these teams going forward in the Big Ten tournament as well. And as we have said, it's very hard for teams to sweep Michigan. It's very hard for Michigan to sweep other teams as well. But the more experience that you have against these individual teams, I think it's actually going to play to Michigan's favor, where you might have a top-seeded Minnesota team. If Michigan just played them twice to end the season, that's a very, comfortable and matchup that Michigan could play for and knows how to defeat a team like Minnesota possibly.
And that's going to be very interesting to watch that play out. We'll have some of the coverage of these final few games, especially the home slate right here on WCBN. We'll shift over to bring William.
How are we doing?
William,
I don't want this to be too loud.
You sound good. You
okay.
sound good. You
All right.
look like a real reporter now. We got the broadcast headsets on, but we're going to do a stand-up set right here. William's perfect for it, ready to report.
I can move around. Well, I guess this isn't good radio. I'm playing for the camera. Kendall is grittying off screen. How much time do we have left?
23 minutes.
All right. Well,
you know what?
I was talking about the Wings. I've talked enough about the Wings.
A negative attitude about our time. It's an opportunity to host the first ever live and televised WCBN postgame show.
This is basically an 11 o'clock DSR. I don't know. Super Bowl's tomorrow.
Super Bowl is tomorrow.
Super Bowl is
tomorrow. We have a 40. I do feel like a stand-up comedian. The Super Bowl's tomorrow, folks. Have you heard about this? Do you know about this? The Super Bowl's tomorrow. Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers. I was very close to doing something related to my belief in the Kansas City Chiefs winning that game, but I chose not to do that thing.
That thing being
something I don't want to say on air.
Okay.
Well, I don't care. I almost bet like a lot of money on the Chiefs to win the game.
Not as much as probably Dave Portnoy
I did not bet.
Though.
I did not bet on the Kansas City Chiefs, which means they will win because I haven't been running into the greatest luck recently on my sports betting escapades.
But let's go into it really fast. So with a game like this, it's probably the most popular time for people to bet on sports. What are some of your favorite bets that you didn't take but you might have really wanted to
I don't
take?
know if I'm the right person to ask this. I think CMC is probably going to win the MVP. Anytime touchdown, Rashee Rice, probably. Kendall's going to switch off.
I'm the
Owen
last
Crain.
person that should be talking about the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, more of, a lot of people are betting on the over, which I'm not sure about.
I'm not
'cause
sure about
both
that
those
either.
defenses are
Really good.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Schematically, I don't want to shift away from betting because it's saturating the market too much. I'll make a stand right now on WCBN. This is what you're used to in Ann Arbor. There's too many gambling advertisements.
It's getting a little overkill. I have to agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why I really liked watching the Nick Cast. I might have to watch it for the Super Bowl, hosted by SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick Starr. No gambling advertisements for the kids. Only the newest Nickelodeon cartoon that will last one season because it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kendall, you're a 49er person.
Yeah. This game is probably actually going to come down to the ground game, despite the fact that both quarterbacks have been talked to. I'm trying to think of a word that's not a curse word. Butt and back. I don't know what I'm saying.
Butt and
I
Front
went
and
in
back.
that.
Well,
without
Isaiah
knowing where I was
Pacheco's a
taking.
fantastic runner.
Yeah, so it's going to come down to the run game. Both teams actually struggle with the run game, but I think it's going to come down to Kansas City Chiefs' maybe inability to protect the run. The 49ers' run defense is bad. Anyone can tell you that,
Yeah.
but they're bad on the perimeter.
Well,
The Kansas
Detroit
City
in
Chiefs
the
don't
first
run
half.
on the perimeter. They run up the middle, which is where the 49ers are actually pretty good at covering. On the other side, I think Christian McCaffrey is perfectly built to impact all of the Chiefs' defensive flaws. However, it's Patrick Mahomes, so they're going to lose because it's Brock Purdy, who I believe in Brock. My best friend goes to Iowa State, so we bond over Brock Purdy, George Kittle touchdowns. But
And you talk about the Cyhawk, Caitlin Clark and Brock Purdy have kind of been a little standoffish.
yeah,
Weren't they at the ESPYs or something like that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I heard some storyline about Caitlin Clark and Brock Purdy, but I do want to say, you look at that Detroit game, in the first half, the Lions kind of had anything they wanted on the outside, and as a person who had a vested interest in that game beyond sports betting, more of my life and my entire life spent being a Detroit Lions fan, I was not happy to see the Lions go away from that approach in the second half, and I think that contributed big to their blowing of a 17-point lead in the NFC Championship game. But to talk about Mahomes, he's faced two double-digit deficits in the two Super Bowls he's played against the 49ers and the Eagles. Two Super Bowls he's won in the past, two double-digit 10-point deficits that he came back from. I'm not sure he's going to have to face that in this game because that Kansas City defense is fantastic. Steve Spagnuolo, who ended the Patriots' undefeated season in 2007 as the Giants' defensive coordinator, is in his bag once again this season with a bunch of guys. I mean, they have talented players. Chris Jones is a superstar. L'Jarius Sneed is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, but they've done it by committee. Nick Bolton, I think, has been great at linebacker this year. One Michigan player on that team right now is Mike Dana, an interior defensive lineman. But really, it's been one of those no-name defenses that steps up and without superstars has stolen the season, I think, for Kansas City in a way that Mahomes, gets all the attention, but the defense has really been there.
Yeah, I think, back to your point, Kendall, about the run game, I think that's completely right. I think both teams have great receivers. At least the 49ers do. Chiefs have made it work. Both have great tight ends. But at times this season for the 49ers and the Chiefs, when the passing game had not really worked out that well, you really did see the run games start to blow up. And with a guy like Christian McCaffrey, as well as a guy like Isaiah Pacheco, you really do see two talented running backs that have been able to feast when they need to, and then two quarterbacks, and Patrick Mahomes, who also can use his legs. Brock Purdy, who had rarely used his legs all year, all of a sudden is starting to make that kind of part of his game as well.
Brock Purdy has been a scrambler. I texted my friend about this, who goes to Iowa State and has been an Iowa State fan, and he said that Brock Purdy had to learn how to scramble so Brock Purdy wouldn't die.
Yeah.
Because he did not ever have a great offensive line at Iowa State.
So, he's started to be able to use that as well. I think as for the over, for what you were saying, William, I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I think you're going to tell really fast what kind of game this is going to be.
Yeah.
I can see this game going over 50 points. I can also see this game ending in like 20-17. So, with both great defenses and also both offenses who can really light the roof off of the stadium, it's going to be a very interesting matchup. And as for, people who are willing to sports bet, I'd really tread cautiously because you just really don't know which each of these teams can give you in this game tomorrow.
Talk about Brock Purdy. I watched a video by Alex Rollins, who makes fantastic NFL content. Usually the day before big games, he puts out a video, and this week it was on Brock Purdy's ability to withstand the blitz. And as a guy with a smaller frame like Purdy, you wouldn't really expect him to be so stout, but that running ability, like you guys mentioned, as well as his ability to stay calm and collected in the pocket. He's not Joe Montana, but like a smaller frame guy, underrated athletically, makes plays in big moments. Like, he has been that guy for the 49ers this season. Like I said, he is not Joe Montana, but there's a reason he was called Joe Cool. I don't know if Brock Cool fits the same way. But I think that's a big part in this game. You saw the pocket breaking down against Detroit 2 weeks ago, and Purdy made some plays. And this is a guy, like, I get that he was Mr. Irrelevant and all that, but he was like mocked as a first-round pick the year before he came out of Iowa State. He's not completely off the radar to college football fans. It's just very funny that it's ended up this way.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was going to be a top pick, with all the hype. Matt Campbell's had like 8 years at Iowa State to get them to a Big 12 championship, and the hype's always been there for him. Like, they're always rumoring that he's going to take different Big Ten jobs or the better jobs around the Midwest, but he stuck around at Iowa State and kind of squandered some talent, if I'm being honest. Breece Hall was there. David Montgomery was there. Mm-hmm. Hakeem Butler, if anyone remembers him, was like a 6'6" wide receiver. And they had some Hunter Deckers was a linebacker turned quarterback last year who got suspended for gambling. I don't know. We'll talk a little bit too much about the Cyhawk with this crew right now, because there was also the Iowa players that got suspended for that, unfortunately for them. I don't know. It's a Super Bowl.
It's a Super Bowl. It's
everyone's talking about it. You don't need to get it from us.
It's just something that I feel like it's talked and talked and talked about for so long, kind of like the college football playoff. It's just probably overanalyzed at this point, but it's just kind of how it is every single year. And it's also a year where there are two teams that have really blossomed at times and two teams that have really struggled at times this season and have both willed their way to the Super Bowl. One team had to defeat the Detroit Lions, who were red hot at that time, and the Chiefs had to go through pretty much all the top teams in the AFC as well. So these teams have proven they can beat good teams. It's not like we have any surprising teams this year in the Super Bowl. And, with all the outside storylines, too, with the Brock Purdy stuff being Mr. Irrelevant and the Travis Kelce stuff with Taylor Swift, I think it's also kind of masked the talent that both these teams have at times this season. And I think both teams are just really excited to play, and they just need to get through this game because, it's the one day a year that all football fans can really just come together and really enjoy. And then you're going to have draft talk for the next 2.5 months until we have it in Detroit.
I just hope Brandon Ayuk sees another ladybug or something, because that's what he said for why he made that catch.
He is just.
I said before the year, I've had Brandon Ayuk in every year of fantasy football. I only play in one fantasy league. I said before the year that I would get like a signed jersey of his if he won me the league. He didn't win me the league, and he actually cost me the game against the Lions. So Brandon Ayuk, not looking forward to anything special from him in this game. Me personally, that's not what I want. Anyways, we're still on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor.
I was going to close out my Super Bowl thoughts.
Well, I was just going to say for the YouTube crowd, producer extraordinaire Owen Crain has put in a special countdown clock before we are released from Little Caesars Arena. It's about 10 minutes to go. You just have to talk. You could get Super Bowl content from anywhere else. But why wouldn't you want to get it from three people who desperately don't want to be doing it?
But also at the same time, three people who religiously do watch football and have,
I don't need to be talking about it this late at night.
Some stakes, in this game one way or another.
You want a Super Bowl take that no one else wants to talk about? There are two great tight ends in this game, and there are also two great tight end significant others. One is better than the other, and it's Claire Kittle. And I'm saying that now, and I'm a Swiftie. Claire Kittle, beautiful woman. She's so nice. I've met her twice.
Oh,
great person.
When did you meet her?
49ers games.
Oh, really?
Well, and Kyle Juszczyk's wife has been
Yeah,
amazing
she's great
too.
too.
styling
Yeah.
out. all
Christian
these-
McCaffrey's fiance was Miss
Yes.
Universe.
Yes, and she made headlines for not being able to afford the Super Bowl, and they were able to get the box for them as well. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's
Claire
been a
Kittle
lot of
Nation, we're out here.
a lot
It's
of
me
of
and maybe one other
storylines
person.
surrounding the Super Bowl this year that really don't pertain to football, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
just kind
like
of what the
that
Super
every
Bowl
year.
is.
We could all be in frame here. I
Someone
feel
hand me my phone. It's
very
over there.
awkward. I'll get you your phone.
Thank you.
I still
Gracias.
feel like a stand up with this microphone switching hands.
Then to make a joke. Someone did stand up
Off the cuff.
in my class and in your club.
Yes, he did. We don't need to talk about that too much.
I just wanted to mention that
We
someone
could
got
we
up
could
in front
talk
of my
about
class and
Michigan
did
football
stand up.
if you would like to, and all the kind of the coaching carousel if you want
I
to
don't
about
know.
that. We could talk about Michigan basketball losing by 20 tonight to Nebraska. That was a fun one that we did
shout
not
out
have to
Keisei
watch.
Tominaga.
That was one that we did not have to watch, and I got saved from my other job having to cover that game tonight.
That would be an unfortunate way to spend the tonight.
That would have been awful. That would have been
But
awful.
this was a tough loss
It
by
was.
Michigan. I don't know.
I feel like we're hosting like the New Year's party on CNN or something right now.
Who's Anderson Cooper? Am I Andy Cohen?
Question from the chat. From Adam Bressler.
What song are you most excited for Usher to perform?
What song are we most excited for Usher to perform at the Super Bowl
mean,
halftime show?
I think is our prop bet Google form submitted by now? Has
I
everyone
don't know. I
submitted?
didn't do that.
Well, like,
I
is
don't
Lil
bet.
Jon going to be there?
I'm not
That's
a
the-
I don't
betting
know.
That's the
person.
I don't
biggest-
know.
That's the biggest.
But
you know,
I
thing that wanna
think
know.
his first song will be OMG.
I want OMG. People
I
are like,
like-
don't
I want
play
OMG.
OMG.
I want
Don't play
OMG, and I want it
Shut
first.
Up.
I think that'd
It's
be
a good
great
song.
It's
song.
2024. Why is Usher at the Super Bowl halftime? Is
I-
it 2007? No.
I can't wait for OMG to be played. I can't wait for Yeah to be played, and Lil Jon will be there because it's Lil Jon. He has
Yeah.
nothing else better to
Well,
do.
what will Taylor be doing? Will
will
Taylor
be-
do the
no,
anthem
no,
or the
she will
halftime?
Be, she will be sitting in the box.
Taylor Swift keeps
sitting with
rejecting
Kelsey's
it.
family.
They keep trying
There's
to get
no
her
no, I
chance.
know. They've probably offered
After
her a lot of
performing in
money.
Japan, there is no way. I mean, she's probably on her flight right now coming
Yeah.
back. I mean, there's no way
She just did-
she would want to even perform again after doing
just
a
did
full show.
4 nights in Tokyo. She did
Yeah.
play Electric Touch as a surprise song. I'm mad about that. I love that song. It's got Fall Out Boy on it. Not like I have tickets, but
So
But
have you
I-
heard about this? Do you know about this? Usher. The Super Bowl halftime. What is it, 2007, folks?
It
But
is-
seriously, why are there so many of these older musicians and actors still
Because
like
new
I
people don't
think
want
biggest
to.
it's
stages?
I think my point on this is you're looking at football fans and their demographic, and you're not trying to perform for teenage men and women.
Yeah.
You're performing for the older-ish crowd, and I think someone like Usher, and even in the past with even like The Weeknd, you saw Lady Gaga perform. Like these kind of performers have songs from the past, but also now from the present and maybe even the future. And I think they're the ones that are able to put together a full soundtrack, a full playlist for a Super Bowl, which you're trying to make 40-year-old men really happy. And Usher, I think,
Why?
is one of those people
I
that could
think-
definitely do that.
Why?
I think they're trying to get people who have songs that are just like insanely played. Like they want you to know every song that the person
Yeah,
plays.
and you do.
because
yeah.
otherwise it's boring.
It's-
Like if
you-
you
you're
don't know,
confused.
like when they did Shakira and like J-Lo, like I didn't know all of them. I don't think.
I
and, like,
think, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like SNL.
I think
like
they
when
just want you to know their like.
Yeah.
They want you to be able to go. Oh, I know that one. Oh, I recognize
Yeah,
that one.
yes.
I know like.
Yes.
And
yes,
it's all like
definitely.
radio playing.
Definitely.
Usher is.
Yeah.
Usher dominated
Usher
the early
is
2000s
definitely-
and like I mean late 2000s, early 2010s.
We're still soliciting comments from the chat. We've got 7 minutes left.
I can moderate. Kellen wants to hear about the Pistons.
No.
Adam says Eminem performed 2 years ago, and halftime performers are always old because they have wide audiences.
True.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
well, let's.
think-
All right, Pistons. I talked about them on the broadcast. They look better. They dropped the game against the Clippers. 2-game winning streak before that after cutting some dead weight, including Killian Hayes. Simon Fontecchio, 20 points today in his Piston debut in the loss to the Clippers. I don't know. Like, to have a 28-game losing streak and then maybe not finish as the worst team in the NBA is a huge deal. I still don't want Troy Weaver making any more moves, but things are looking a little bit better. And the one thing I will say, the moves weren't about, I think, addition or subtraction. They were just about empowering the existing players on the team, and I think you saw that 2 nights ago on the second game of the back-to-back, Jalen Duren had like 27 and 22. Need to get like Wiseman off the whatever, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to ask
stink.
you, William, what did you think of that trade, and what do you think the plans are going forward after a move that was just made to the Knicks?
They keep talking like they're going to sign some big free agent, but I love Detroit. I'm from the Detroit area. Nobody wants to come to Detroit, especially on like the worst team in the NBA. You know, you just have to overpay them, and then it'll be Ben Gordon, Charlie V all over again, blowing all your cap space. And again, like Troy Weaver has not done well enough in free agency, I think, to warrant another shot at it. This is his 4th year, and he has yet to surpass, I think, 25. He has not surpassed 30 for sure. I'm not sure if he's gotten to 25 wins in a season. Like, this team has been bad, and it stinks. The Pistons are one of, like, a handful of teams. I'm pretty sure it's under 10 to have multiple NBA titles. 3 of them, and, like, this team is being run like we're the Charlotte Hornets or the Washington Wizards.
Hey. Yeah, I agree, though.
I mean, those are like the 2 worst teams in the
NBA. Definitely.
Wizards have not had a 50-win season since 1979.
That's why we're
Adam
Knicks
Bressler.
Fans. That's why we're Knicks fans now.
Yeah. No, I don't ever need to watch the Pistons the rest of the year unless they, I don't know, get like.
Well, then I'll ask you this question: what do you think about the coaching situation? Because I know Monty Williams has kind of been dealt an unfair hand, but he did lead a 28-game losing streak.
I mean,
what do you think about his performance this year, and do you think he does deserve another year or even 2 after this one?
From everything that I've heard, Owen, please hustle on the graphic. We need it. From everything that I've heard about Monty Williams, like the rotations have not been very. There have been things that he could have done better. He could have done better to mitigate how bad the losing streak was, and it didn't help that Tom Gores gave him like a blank check coming into town. I'm not sure that he's the kind of coach this team needed. He's like a winning coach, and this team needed a developmental coach still. The NBA coaching cycles are different to where, like, for a contender, you might have 2 or 3 coaches, and each of them serve a different role along the way. I'm not sure that Monty Williams was right for this role right now, mentoring young players, especially with the ways he treated Jaden Ivey and how many minutes he gave to Killian Hayes. Like, there were posts on Instagram by Ivy and Duren. Nice one, Owen. We're still here, though. About how broadcasting cam goes down. About how they were, well, it was like veiled criticism of being with Killian Hayes, and they were happier that he was gone. That's not what they said, but that's what you could infer based on what they posted on Instagram. So I don't know. The team's looking better. How much time do we have left? We should probably close this out with something not about the Detroit Pistons. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. I still want to go to Lafayette, Coney Island. Get a Coney dog. I'm not going to lie. But I'm not going to go alone.
They have turned the Jumbotron off.
Yeah, we're here late. We're here late in LCA.
Kicked out pretty soon.
We got here early,
sorry, guys,
and we are here late.
Sorry, guys.
This is not their building. This is the Red Wings building. Everything is red. They had to change the seats black because the Pistons couldn't sell tickets to games. They used to be all red. All these seats. Pick up the camera.
Oh, yeah. I feel like they were red
All
last
these
time I was
seats
here.
were red, and now they're black because the Pistons could not sell tickets to games.
There's the shut-off video board.
And that's the shut-off video board that Owen cares so much about.
I've never seen one turned off.
Well, it's kind of just a big,
Well, yeah.
series of black LED screens.
I'm shocked.
You see it a lot at Chrysler.
I was just saying I've never seen it.
We have been here too long.
We have been here. We were here
I got here
3
at-
hours before the game.
I got here at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
We got here at 5:30.
Yeah.
It's going to be 11:30 before we even find. What's your favorite video board?
The hospitality at LCA has been good. I mean,
Yeah, it's
like
been good.
they put us in this
We
booth.
got surprise
appreciate it.
Little Caesars Pizza for our
That was
meal
good.
tonight.
I mean, Little Caesars Pizza, when it's hot
This
and
was
ready,
the second time I've had it in my
pretty
life.
good.
Ever.
I think it's
Really?
debatable.
The first was 6th grade
I've had it
at
many
play
more
practice,
times than that.
and I didn't really like it, so I never got it again.
I am a bit upset. I've had
We have a viewer question. People are
Yeah.
interested. Final. We got about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Juwan?
Thoughts on Joe? Oh, God. I don't even have allowed to speak.
well, yeah, no. So let's keep it short. But like, not only has he not conducted himself in a way becoming of the head basketball coach of the University of Michigan, he also has not won games becoming of the head coach
And
of the University of Michigan men's basketball team.
all I'll say is that they're like such a bad second half team that you have to wonder what's being said in that locker room. That is the worst motivational speech of all time.
Yeah.
There's nothing like
Well, and
whatever-
it's like the last 5 minutes somehow he gives a speech.
whatever's going on. He's
There's-
like it's like it just is the worst motivation of all time.
How much time are we at?
There's confidence issues
We're
with the
gonna sign off
team.
pretty soon of,
minute.
okay, minute
and
left.
and you know it's something where we're not going to speculate on his job in the future. I think for right now, you know, I like him as a person. I like Juwan as a Michigan man. He didn't do a great job at building the team in the offseason to prepare for Big Ten play, and it's biting him right now. And he has 3 great recruits coming in next year. He's done great in the transfer portal when he's had time to understand what his players are doing. And unlike the last 3 seasons, he's not expecting 3 guys to go to the draft and be in a lottery. So you are expecting a lot of these guys to come back next year. And I think if you do retain him, it will be better. It's just obviously, I know everyone's really upset about Michigan basketball right now, as we are. And it's just going to kind of be something that we'll have to figure out in the offseason. As Ward Manuel said, he's not making any decisions right now in the middle of the season.
Okay.
Go Niners.
Yeah, so we got to sign off of 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Thank you for listening. This has been a 2-3 loss at the hands of the Michigan State Spartans in the Duel in the D. Thank you all for tuning in. Good night and go blue to our FM audience. And to YouTube, I don't know. The clock has hit 0 and we're still here.
Close
It's
this
like
out, Will. Close this out.
there's a Saturday Night Live sketch where they're trying to announce the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, and the clock ticks down to 0, and they're going like, the awards are starting right now. It's Ariana Grande in the sketch. It's pretty funny. You should check it out. That's reminding me of this situation, and eventually the clock just started increasing. But for all of us, Jake Singer, Kendall Spencer, Owen Crain, I've been William Gregory. An unfortunate loss at the hands of Michigan State. Michigan fails to pick up a point this weekend against the Spartans and loses 3 out of 4 in the regular season to Michigan State. Next week, Penn State will not be on WCBN. The week after that, Notre Dame. I'll have that game on Friday, February 23rd. Thank you all for tuning in and watching our impromptu live show at the end of this game. We're going to get out of here. Good night and go blue.